go now. Here we 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 go now.
you keeping it real? I'm calling shotgun, wanna see my baby run. Oh, what's the word on the sea? Kicking up the dust, if you know what I mean. We got a good thing going. We got a good thing going on.
Make it clap.
Hello and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our all-new season of the PUBG Mobile Club Open, the fourth split, of course, of the Pakistan region 2021, brought to you by Oppo F19 Pro, hashtag Woke Up Your Fun. And we have come in a long way already, and today we've got Necro along with me, the Panda brother, sitting, and we'll be casting all your games for the evening. So Necro, how are you doing?
I am doing absolutely fine. I mean, it's been a long time, since we've been together, since we've been casting. But hey, finally we're back now in the PMCO. This is the region, or this is the kind of moment where we usually do unite. So it's an absolute pleasure to see you. But without a doubt, now Pakistan region, a lot of teams have been looking phenomenal in here.
Yeah, they indeed have. I mean, considering the NC which we just did get through. I mean, Team Bablu coming out as the champs, but we've still got a lot of storylines coming out here. But first, let's take a look at how this tournament is going to be played out. Let's take a look at the tournament explanation graphics that we have in front of you guys. And there you have it. 32 teams divided into 4 groups. They're going to be playing up against each other. Like you can see, today's day number 1. So we've got teams from groups A and B going up against each other. So every single group plays 12 matches. That is 4 matches per day. And well, the top 14 teams are going to be qualifying for the finals, of course, because we've got 2 invited teams in the finals, and you talk about them, they're the big guns, Team QWERTY and of course Team I8. Now let's take a look at the prize pool to see what's the money, or how much rather is the money that's on the line. It's $29,200.
Exactly. First place, of course, getting 3,600, and then we will be pretty much descending down. Second place getting 2,000, third place getting 1,600, and 14 and 16 as well will be getting themselves 800. But yeah, it's pretty much equally divided later on. But as you did mention, things have been looking quite heated up in the NC as well, and a lot of things have been looking nice. So especially getting back in the group that have been divided. Each group, of course, has 8 teams pretty much today. Now, Group A and B will be playing. That means 16 teams in total, without a doubt. But now, Group A and B, we have teams like Team Sky coming in. Then you also have teams like Max D. Then you also have teams like Freestyle. Now, take a look at the prize pool as well. A lot of things are online, so I'm expecting these teams to have a little less jitters. But talking about the underdogs, though, I'm expecting them to have a lot of jitters.
You know, the way the tournaments are happening, definitely we've got so many newcomers, coming in and, bringing glory to their team and, of course, to their nation, if that they will in the PMPL, of course. But, how do they do that? Of course, they will have to earn a few points around. And for the first position, we've got 15 points. Pretty much standard, something that we've been witnessing from the last year's PMPL altogether. Now, well, to be honest, I think the Pakistan region, as we call them, they've been really aggressive. They always have been, right? That sort of resonates with their sort of performance. But now let's take a look at the squad roster. We've got some quite familiar names, also with some new names over here. So, all right, we all know about Team Sky and North Esports. We did just see them in the NC, but 52 Rage Esports. All right, I want to see what they have to offer. Now, these 4 set of teams, they're completely new for me. And Quraysh Esports. I think this is one of those names that I'm going to be really interested in to see how they perform.
Exactly. I mean, underdogs, of course, bring in so much anonymous kind of gameplay in here. Astonishing games, especially, are expected. Freestyle, though, gotta say, this team is looking really promising this time. Especially taking a look at Black. Then you have Tyrant as well, some of the OG players, and you also have some player completely in a fragging out players like Malik as well. But now, getting back to the squad rosters on the Group B side, you have BFM Esports, you have Solo coming in, you have F2D, and you have 2EZ4.
Yeah, I mean, we've got a lot of teams, of course. I'm going to get back to them, but let's take a look at the schedule that we have lined up for you guys. Of course, the first match is going to be played in Erangel, pretty much standard, right?
Classic.
Then Miramar, then Sanhok, then ending things again with another Erangel. So, considering we've got teams from Groups A and B playing, I think the major rivalry today is going to be between the two big teams that really did popped off in the NC. That's going to be Maxed and Freestyle. Now, Freestyle is definitely one of those teams that I've started to really like a lot, because considering how they were in their group stages and the transition from just being one of those old squads with their lost glory to being one of those teams that is here to dominate and perform, I've loved that, and I really would want to see how they just kind of carve their road for the PMPO.
Exactly. Talking about a team like Freestyle, of course, they made it in the past time. I mean, in the finals, they did made it in the regional finals. Unfortunately, though, couldn't really qualify because, teams like Team Cordy are pretty much dominating. There are a lot of teams kind of lined up in the back, though. But yeah, Freestyle, as you did mention, they are here to get their revenge now. They are here to make their mark in the PMPO again. But now, we also do know, as you did mention in the past, that there are going to be only 14 teams going to be qualifying from there to finals. And then you have two teams like I8 and Cordy coming in, which was back in the day, which was called F4. So I'm expecting teams like I8, of course, they have a lot of synergy, without a doubt. They have been together since a long time. Of course, Team Cordy as well. You have a man like Khan coming in who pretty much controls the team, how they play overall. So what can you expect, especially if you have these kind of great lads? And getting back our counter with Freestyle, though, you have some OG players like Tyrant and Black. So what are your expectations from them?
I really expect bigger things from this particular team. I'll tell you why. It's not just Tyrant or Respect. It also has to come down to Gully Boy, who's also been phenomenal in terms of fragging potential. But then again, during the finals, we sort of did see that little bit of a dip, but which sort of brings this entire conversation to North Esports, right? Again, one of those oldest teams from Pakistan region. I mean, we have seen them right from when PUBG Mobile really started over there. So the team that had lost its former glory did retain some of it, but were really close, but just too far for the NC, because of course we had Team Bablu getting the throne over there. But how are your feelings about North?
North, without a doubt, I feel like they have been getting their mark up till the finals, but there's just somewhere down the line falling weak in the final stages. Because, look, as we all do know, in the first stages, a lot of teams, big teams, I would say, teams like Bablu, Cordy, I8, they like to sit back, chill out, just see how teams play, right? So North, they have a massive time to gain lead there. That's what they did. But in the final stages, when teams like Bablu, I8, Cordy, they decided to chime in, then things do get a little heated up, and that's when I feel like North do kind of fall weak. But it's fine. This is their one more time to kind of get the revenge back. You also do have in the PMCO, so you can pretty much try and make your mark, though. You need to forget what happened in the past. It's time to make a new beginning.
A fresh start is what you're suggesting, and I would also recommend the same, but we have to just head on and hop inside the aeroplane and find for ourselves who is going to be winning the first game of the evening, as it is, of course, in our favorite map, Erangel, the flight path, just heading out from Quarry towards Mansion, kind of dissecting the maps into two halves. And right now, I mean, the question still goes out, Necro. Where do you think the zone's going to get formed?
See, I've seen these kind of zones without a doubt in the NC, right? And I mean, I wasn't really there for the Pakistan region because I was there in the Nepal region, but I've seen the same kind of plane fly path. And especially taking a look at this one, I would say it's kind of tilted toward the Asana side, like a little bit. It would be centralized, but a little bit tilted to the right side. So Of course, it is quite interesting, but the main kind of problem here is that imagine the circle take shifts in the rice field, right? Of course, out in the open, the teams do have themselves the compound or quite find themselves lucky
Right.
to make those rotations inside. Then if they do get themselves the compound, I would say they're quite lucky to get there. But on the other hand, though, it also just comes down to how much time you're given to initially drop down and loot. That's what really matters. Now, over here, if your drop location is really far away from the play and fly path, you need to expect from that team that they're going to be taking quite a decent amount of time to loot.
Indeed, they will.
Yeah.
But, considering how this flight path trajectory has gone, and my history and stint with the Pakistani esports scene, I've always seen the first one somewhere down towards the south. So that is something I would expect, but no, quite a default circle is what we're getting. But I really would want to look at a few clashes here and there, because one of those things, Necro, with the first day is always you do not know where your opponent is dropping, right? So these are the days where, teams kind of test the waters, they figure out where they're more comfortable at, and we might just see some scuffle happening around in farm.
Exactly. Now, the funny part over here, or the fun fact I would like to call, because Max D now, they have been going in the Pochinki area quite a while. But now look at this. In the PMCO, as you did mention the first day, you are just kind of testing the waters. You do not really want to go in the initial place and just reveal what you're trying to do. Of course, teams have researched. They probably do know in Pochinki they might be Max D, but Max D just didn't do that. They completely threw a curveball, completely caught those teams off guard, and this is what really kind of separates a good team from like a mediocre team, I would say. Because in the start, testing the waters out, analyzing the games, and making sure how teams are playing is probably what the mentality is for the top teams. But getting our convo back on the freestyle now, as you did mention, your eyes are out going to be for Gully Boy. But unfortunately, this time as well, he isn't really in the roster. And, well, I mean, I'm pretty sure you are going to be disappointed.
Indeed, I am. I mean, I really am starting to ponder as to what really went wrong with him. I mean, he was such an instrumental part of the puzzle over here. But considering we've got QE right beside Acid, I just hope he does know where he is heading at. I mean, what could possibly the reason as to why is he driving like this?
I feel like at this point he's just trying to gather some attention, or maybe make sure that the compounds are clear. If they're clear, he's probably going to be stopping there and then loot, and then also give his teammates the call out that, oh, this area is clear, we can probably try and loot here. On the other hand, though, you also have Rai from Max D. Now, he has got himself a decent loot, but I still wouldn't say he is quite comfortable, because M16A4, come on, burst, it's not really that great.
I mean, I love it.
You love
Come on.
it?
Yeah.
I mean, I would say, yeah, in close ranges, it's fine, but imagine if you want to spray someone down out in the field, which is quite in a medium range, it would get tough.
I mean, medium range
Yeah,
is
single,
where I
yeah.
really feel the gun really flourishes, even at the burst, taps. We've seen players doing that. I mean, Paraboy. I mean, you talk about the Chinese teams; they're so good at that. But yes, again, you come back to the Pakistani region. That's where you kind of tend to notice that players do love their M416 more than the M16. But in different regions, it kind of sort of varies, right? Coming down, it's just about your personal preference. I really like the M16, but M416, I kind of have bad feelings about it. I'll tell you why, because it's just too common. And, as long as it works, it's fine. But, then again, coming back to Yasnaev, we've got a fight maybe potentially happening in the foreseeable future between Team BFM and Team 2VZ4. Now, BFM is one of those squads that I did see playing in the NC, and this is one of the teams that's really good in maps like Miramar. But I have to see as to how they perform this time in Erangel.
Exactly, without a doubt. I mean, I would say Aslan is quite a massive city, so I'm not really expecting some skirmishes breaking down in here. But I would really like to say, though, I'm really enjoying AKM in the close ranges. It's
Me too,
so
100%.
devastating. It's so... Imagine if you connect that one single headshot. The guy is completely shredded already. What can he do? Tell me. Well...
Some early skirmishes, and I think that was sort of ought to happen, to be honest, because the way Max was just hovering around, and this time, Rahi and Acid did do really want to go in for a push, and they indeed have taken things up close and personal now.
Exactly. A-Side now pretty much closing the distance down, getting real up close and personal.
Nice.
One guy's pretty much down low. I do like the movement that he's showing. Unfortunately, AKM this time not really working out because I would say he had an advantage without a doubt. He started shooting first. Kill instantly got confirmed, but look at this drive-by coming in through from the side of Hucker, but not really going to be able to find himself that much of an advantage over there. Stopped out in the open. They are going to be calling themselves lucky, though, because, well, the guy was down low, so that's why they were like, all right, probably deciding to kind of challenge a fight instantly wouldn't really be that great of a choice. Hucker is ready with that nade. He does know there is Bilal pretty much behind that, so he does have the nade whipped out. On the other hand, though, Dubai as well is quite ready with his utilities. Hucker needs to watch out. But on the other hand, as we were talking about Yasnaya region, well, it seems like fights have been breaking out there as well.
Oh, well, right now, I mean, Hucker, he's not really at the best of his HP. He really needs to heal himself up. But then again, you've got the players of Quraysh who might just want to come in anytime soon. But there we have the players of Team BFM in a really bad situation. Oh, there you have it. Hawk just being blown up.
Oh my
But
God.
Leader will definitely respond with a grenade of his own.
Exactly. He literally saw the grenade kind of pulled out right in his direction in slow motion. Like it's literally like flashing your own death in front of your eyes. But hey, now over here, fight still breaking down. The guy's down low, trying his best to spam out, though. Unfortunately, not really able to find any success. Max D is slowly and steadily ripping them apart. And Hucker from the back lines as well is there, trying his best to provide as much as cover as possible. Now over here, damage has been dealt on the side of Max D as well, as Assad, the main man, I would say, who actually went down. Now, this man was quite, I would say, impactful in the PMNC, but it's fine, you know. We just know it's the first day, first game. Understandable, you know, if it does goes down, this was not really the initial place they like to drop it.
Yeah, I mean, is it though? Because the question still remains. I really felt bad vibes coming out of Team Max the moment they just decided to push with just a single knock. I mean, it was still a decent range, and they had to anticipate the other player getting res backed up. And that's when I think Bilal was really instrumental over there with sort of getting one of those trades over here on towards Asad, and one of the other players of Max did get knocked out as well. Now, they've decided, of course, to change things around and just get the better out of Quraysh Esports. But now we've got another fight in front of us. That's going to be 52 Rage going up against NFP Sky. So a lot of skirmishes breaking right from the very get-go this time. However, it's in the Potato Hills.
On the other hand, we also did see Freestyle kind of showing themselves up. And now the main problem here is 52 Rage are getting surrounded by two teams. NFP Sky as well, and on the other hand, well, Freestyle as well. So Freestyle, I mean, I would say there is a little problem, but hey, I mean, Mursa tried his best to kind of fight back, but got shut down from the backside. Black as well is getting shut down. Now, 52X Rage are doing pretty phenomenal up till now to give Freestyle on their knees, I would say. But over here, Respect is there to kind of get the res back on his teammates. Tyrant Respect still alive. I'm expecting the duo to kind of show matureness and try and go for a little bit of more tactical approach inside this fight. Now, considering the fact that you already do have a disadvantage because the enemy team has a high ground over you, what are you supposed to do? Maybe try and back off from this moment or utilize those smoke grenades. But the problem here is it's so early that I'm not really expecting those smoke grenades or the utilities to be utilized.
I mean, I don't find a reason as to why they would not really go for the smokes. I mean, you cannot really have a contingency plan that if I survive till the very end, that's where I'm going to use my smokes, right? I know my life's on the line over here. I have to use every possible means to get out of this particular situation. Now, talking about Freestyle over here, I mean, they did get a few kills over here, but what's really important is to get Black back on his toes. Now, considering this, zone shift, we do see that circle shift a little bit towards the eastern side where NFP Sky really have a good position, but Team 138 do seem to have spotted the players of Team Apex in the far fray. Will take a few shots and then just sort of retreat. But this sort of brings the conversation along to, Team Max trying a new drop location, right? Now, that has been something different that we did get to see. And, well, they did lose out on Acid, but in terms of, we've seen Haka really stepping up, getting 3 kills for his team. And, well, this sort of a zone shift is definitely gonna help them a lot. Now, the first airdrop coming in, it's the MG3. Tell me more about what you feel about this weapon.
I would say, look, I have seen a lot of players use it, like in the pro scene, right? But you haven't really seen any flashy moments from this gun. Let's be honest, like none of the moments that have actually been eye-catchy, I would say, that really haven't been there. I just feel like it's because it's so new in the meta that players still haven't really found out how to kind of use it properly, especially in the pro level. And at this point in time, players do like to stay in the comfort zone because they do know there's a lot of things online. So probably you would, without a doubt, go with a M416. Like I feel like players are so used to at this point in time, and they do realize these are the PMCO.
Like the muscle memory.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
So they're so used to it. It's like their comfort zone at this point in time. And some players also do like to call it their lucky charm. So hey, why not?
I mean, I really love MG3. Come on. I think the moment I did see Khan 420 using that for the very first time in PUBG Mobile in a competitive tournament that I did cast. So I was really a fan of that weapon right when I saw the players going up, and Captain he's trying his luck onto its Venom, who is somehow surviving on a sliver of HP, and there you go. Captain does manage to finally get a knock, and does come from N16. So this is where, you know, if you've got that flash hider or maybe a compensator, even on if you can just track your crosshairs really well, and you can take your taps, does really give you that precision that you need. And I mean, just that one bullet needed to be connected, and he did that, and as a result of which he did get a knock. And yeah, sort of coming back to the conversation about the MG3, it's an absolute shredder. I mean, I used to love the MK14, but after I could see the potential of this weapon, I mean, I've moved on.
I mean, yeah, the fire rate is definitely insane, without a doubt. I mean, the fire rate has to be one of the most, like, eye-catchy things, and at the same time, damage as well. It's not less. But I mean, the damage is quite... I feel like it's similar to Groza. The damage is quite similar to Groza.
Yeah, of course. I mean, still less than AKM, but then again, the potential that it provides sort of compensates with the time to kill on that particular weapon, right? But now, you know, getting back to the teams that we have. So two new teams that we're witnessing. I mean, I haven't really heard of 4th generation. They've made it so far, so they definitely must have something up their sleeves. And Gold Stars, so 33 AK, just hovering around with his school. Any single moment might decide to engage, but by the looks of it, I do not really feel so, because again, they're just rotating around to get inside a better position inside the zone.
Exactly. Now, over here, of course, team do not really want to kind of fight against each other. It's pretty understandable at this point in time. This is kind of a phase where you need to situate yourself in the centralized kind of portion for yourself, making sure you at least have a comfort zone going in for the future lines. But we do see Respect kind of locking eyes on Hucker from the side of Max D. He's quite lucky to stay alive until now. He was down quite low. He's making sure that at least his buggy is staying safe. That's why he smokes it out, because he does know if he wants to make any crucial rotations happen, the buggy's the only way to make it out. But unfortunately, he got blown up. Now, over here, he doesn't have any other choice rather than to use his feet to kind of make the rotation. But hey, guess what? Somewhere else from other squad, he actually got taken out. And that's so unfortunate. Getting third-partied, I'm pretty sure, must be one of the most tilting things out there.
I mean, and a team like a Freestyler, that's something that Hakar did not really anticipate. Now, this is really going to hurt him a lot. And again, Max, this positioning thing is something that they really need to work out. Now, we've got the players over here of BYP taking a few shots back onto its black. So we've got a trifecta over here being formed between the teams. But I believe the players of Max have sort of abandoned on Hakar.
Yeah, I mean, imagine what can they do at this point, because he's surrounded between 3 teams. If they try and go for a res, pretty much it's like putting yourself in a danger. So understandable. Yeah, it's pretty understandable that at that point in time, it's kind of a gone case, right? You just need to let it go and focus on how you're going to be kind of proceeding in forward. Because imagine the strategies you have planned with 4 players. Now you will have to execute them with only 2 players. So much pressure on their shoulders, so much burden. And now they will pretty much have to try and carry the team to victory. But oh, I do like this approach being taken from the side of Max. Still pretty bold, not really scared to take any fights. We're able to take one lat out from the side of BFM, but not really able to convert it into kill. On the other hand, now Max D, well, they're completely crumbled down. Now they're just down to that one last man alive, or I would say 2 men alive. So Max D, I don't really know how are they going to be getting back from these kind of moments or these kind of situations, because they're always on that receiving end, no matter what kind of route they choose.
Indeed. I mean, right now, with the way things have gone with the players of Max, I mean, I'm not going to say anything else right now. Let's just focus on the other teams. An equation over here. So we've got Rahi, who's apparently just hovering around the edges of the circle. But look at the zone, heading on towards the Potato Hills, which Freestyle have had a good control over. And even I love the zone control over here. But I'm still, really keen to see whether they're just going to hold on to the Potato Hills, or are they going to make any sort of changes in where they want to rotate, because in that one little circle I just see two compounds being present, which apparently haven't been taken up yet.
Exactly. Now, from the side of Max D, again, here we do have kind of Rahi. He does know there's a lot of pressure on himself, and especially considering the fact that, well, he's the only man alive. They have managed to secure 4 points, but still, I mean, come on, that's not really enough. But yeah, considering the fact that it's just the first game, Max D didn't even showcase their original drop spot, which they like to go towards Pajinki, as I've seen in the past. So I would say Max D, yeah, it's fine, but I'm expecting greatness in the future days as well from their side. If they're not really able to do so, then of course it will be a massive disappointment. But on the other hand, 138, take a look at that board rotation being made all the way out in the open. Fortune was right next to them as well, but gotta respect these kind of rotations, right? Especially when you do know there's so much kind of damaging factor in those kind of rotation, and still you do go for those. It is quite bold. On the other hand, I would like to say 52 Rage have done quite a great job, and hey, as we were talking, Max D getting eliminated.
Indeed, finally biting the dust. And to be honest, I mean, like you said, right, this is still the first game, right? This is where you can do a little bit of experimentation. I mean, we still have one more Erangel, but we do have a fight breaking in front of us. That's going to be between Fortune and Golden Stars. Now, Savage, apparently, he is going to be just making a move, trying to back off from over here. We've got Team 138 having a really high ground position, but they are in their own troubles, because you've got 52 Rage pushing right at them.
The Killfish, so many kills are flying in, and on the other hand as well, 138 trying to fight back. Samir has already been knocked out. Now, the main priority, of course, to add it out to get the res back onto him. That's what is exactly happening. But up till now, no one has really stuck that res, because Samir was out in the open and he was getting spotted out. UMP doing a lot of damage onto him. Unfortunately, couldn't really make it out alive from that position. On the other hand, Team Sky as well as stepping himself up, connecting those headshots, getting himself those kills as well, and showing yourself on the kill board. Freestyle as well, pretty much doing the same thing.
Indeed, there. I mean, kind of the position that they have, and they've already gotten 2 knocks over here, and obviously, Eva is getting taken down, demolished, and all these kills being secured for Freestyle. They need to get Tyrant back up, definitely, 100% sure. But now, 52 Rage, they are sort of trying to make a move, or maybe not. Now, the 14th position team that has been eliminated has to be too easy for. Now, a lot of teams did make those rotations, and they had to pay the price, but BYP, players, look at them. They've just got that Wizard Tower for themselves, and all their players are sort of stacked up over there. But right now, ZARAR Sirius getting caught off from the backlines. Now you've got NFP Skies, Kian, who's the latest addition, I believe, to the roster, who's apparently just trying to push in onto it. Sam does get punished heavily.
Exactly. He does get punished. This is what really happens when you don't really have a lot of cover. Decide to move out in the open, and Sam is going to be the man to put the final nail in the coffin for him. But NFP Sky, Halsey, now pretty much trying to back off. He did take, I would say, a decent amount of damage from that nade, but he did realize that the car was about to blow up, so backing off from that kind of a moment is probably the most mature thing you can do. One-on-one fight going on, pretty much a stare-down competition. On the other hand, though, you also do see a lot of fights happening. Take a look at the circle shift. It's pretty much out in no man's land. I would say there are still a few teams that are trying to be Guardian Angels, but it just really comes down to, I feel like centralized part is probably the main, but in those late kind of circle, if you try to go for the center part, it's like you are the center of attraction as well.
Yeah, I mean, I 100% agree with you. But right now, Sam is upon just about to get pushed over by Helty. But Helty just going down along with his arm. But this time, he's going to get that knock with, of course, his M4. And there you have it. ZARAR Esports, they've been wiped out. Now, coming back to how the circle has really panned out. Now, central approach would be really foolish, right? In an open circle as such, you need to make sure you've got those vehicles to back you up, right? If you do not build up those fortresses with your, blown up vehicles, you're basically done. And there you have a lot of fights breaking down. But Tyrant does have that MG3.
Oh my god, he's moving out in the open. He's moving out in the open though. Tyrant does manage to connect a few shots, but now he's on that receiving end. Yep, this is exactly what happens when you leave your cover and move out in the open. Tyrant got knocked off, but another fight happening. F2D is going to be the one to challenge the lads of BFM, and it seems like up till now they're pretty much crumbling down. BFM as well, one lad has been taken down. This is going to be the man, but look at what Leader's doing. Oh my god, he's single-handedly making them crumble down on their knees. Jaguar, the last man alive. Now he's the only one, kind of like a chain, trying his best to fight back. Up till now, he has managed to find himself 2 knocks though, but now he wants to convert those into kills. Jaguar does realize a massive portion of the team does depend upon him because the lads were knocked out. He's the only one who is keeping them alive up till now. And look at Leader, he's still approaching, pretty much a bold move. And yep, final man crumbling down as well. That's going to be it for the squad of F2D.
Oh, that's going to hurt them, really. Because Team BFM, they are in here to make their mark, right? F2D could not really understand what exactly was happening. Just got blown away. I really love the approach from Team BFM, to be honest, over here. They've got that better off those compounds over here, but still are playing on the eastern edges. But we've got Team Solo, got a Khan amongst us, and basically Khan we've seen in the Pakistan region has been amazing so far. And, well, he does manage to and weave those few bullets, but right now Necro is surviving on a sliver of HP, and yes, the zone.
It's quite close. It's quite close, but take a look at the circle shift as well. It's quite close to them, so I would say Solo are pretty much crazy up till now. But there is one more team right in the front lines. Now, this is where in those late game kind of moments, a prone battle, a lot of snakes. You do see a lot of wipers going on here and there. On the other hand, Killfield still pretty much shining in. Killfield is dancing, and Zeus from the side of Solo being shut down, but it doesn't matter. They strike back, and they pretty much put the final nail in the coffin for BYP Elites. They've been taken out, but they did get themselves 6 kills, so I would say that's quite a decent mark up till now, but considering the fact you got eliminated on the 9th position, I wouldn't say it's that impressive. But Apex as well on the other half, trying their best to fight back in these kind of moments. Solo, they do realize now there is a massive kind of burden on their shoulder as well, because one man has been taken down. Smokes are there to shroud themselves in the smoke. They should get the rest back on, but I still know that their position has been compromised, so that's still going to be pretty detrimental.
Yeah, indeed it is. But right now, they've got the boys from Sky. They're doing a pretty decent job, but they do not really have the numbers to back them up with. You've got the squad of BFM really closing up on them, but now they're completely unaware of the threat looming downstairs, and both of them, they're just absolutely gonna get shredded as Team Sky. I mean, quite surprisingly, they're playing so very well in terms of how they position their players in the fights.
Exactly. Sky, I mean, I would say, yep, the positioning has been pretty phenomenal. They're not really right next to each other. You can already do see that 2-2 split coming in forward.
Kind of a crossfire
so, which is quite
that
great.
developed.
Yep. The split is perfect over here at this point. So, but the problem over here as well is that imagine if Halsey gets taken out. How is the other lad about to make over there? Because in these kind of late circle, even if you do utilize smoke, the chance of you getting spammed are pretty much 99%. So pretty much you do not really want these kind of moments. But hey, Halsey is doing a great job protecting himself up till now. He's pretty much striking back all the time. He's taking those players down, and this is what really Sky wants at this point in time in the game. But Solo still behind Halsey. He needs to realize that they also do have the high ground. That means exposing yourself a little too much, you might just be cut off.
Indeed. Right now, we're seeing that little bit of a silence over here, because every single team is trying to just try and get a better angle, get a better position. Now, I really kind of do not like the chances of Team NFP Sky over here. Look at that downhill ridge that they've got. You know, if Team Solo kind of tends to jump up a little bit, I think they might easily spot the players down. But AB, indeed, he's taking a few shots at Farhan. Apparently has spotted his position, but is oblivious about his teammate. But Bunny is definitely going to finish Lewis over there, but there you have it, the zone just eating him up.
Yeah, of course, Zone doesn't care. It's going to eat you alive in those late game circles, especially when you don't know how it pretty much chips quite massive chunks out of your HP. So North as well following it up on 6th position. I mean, I would say a pretty shaky start, but it's fine. You know, at least it's better than a team like MaxD. But now you do have teams like Sky and 52 Rage still alive. I have to give props to Rage. They have came quite a far way without a doubt, because in this start you can remember they were getting pincered down by even Sky and even Freestyle. And now making it alive in these kind of late moments, especially you are in the top 4 teams as well. I mean, props should be given, right? They pretty much have flipped the tables on death.
I mean, right now, the way Team NFP Sky, they were positioned, right, I really loved it. And Halsey and Ash being alive,
as I mentioned.
yeah, this was ought to happen, right? You've got that little bit of a downward ridge, but that's something that they cannot afford to enjoy. You know, you cannot ask for a better position than where Halsey is at this moment, considering how the circle has panned out. Of course, they've gotten 8 kills. They're in the top 4. They pretty much have done the job. They have started off really well, but now Su's sort of being that last player alive. Now Solo has bitten the dust. Now again, I really like the chances of Golden Stars in this one, considering the numbers advantage. And AB, he's not going to have any difficulty. Just spots that buggy off, does spot that little pixel moving around him, and he finishes things off. Now it's a 4v2 situation between 52 Rage and Golden Stars. 2 underdog teams making their mark. Wow.
Exactly. Golden Stars, I mean, pretty much it does seem like they have all their 4 players alive, so at this point in time, what they can try and do is at least go for like 3-1 split or try and go for a 2-2 split. And it does seem like, well, I mean, they are in a 3-1 split, but I wouldn't really see a 3-1 split should be really far away from each other, right? The one guy who's lurking around should have a little bit more distance from this one. But unfortunately, the guy's lurking, his position has been compromised. One man falls down from the side of 52 Rage, and oh my god, look at that damage being dealt. But unfortunately, the MK14 wasn't really able to secure the game for him. But hey, he tried his best to fight back against a full pack, but I would say it's going to be Golden Stars who pretty much sealed the deal on the first map.
Yeah, of course. I mean, this team had been pretty much silent from the very start. All they were focusing is on their rotation, and that sort of paid off for them, because you would want to have 2 ways of approach, right? Either you really go explosive, like something what Max tried to do, and that really just kind of came back to haunt them towards that mid-game. But again, they had a rather slow start, focused more on rotations. It was right out open circle, and that is where all the teams were fighting it out, right? They were very opportunistic, to be honest, and the right moment did come. It did arrive, and 52 Rage, gotta give props to these lads as well. I mean, staying as a 2-man squad, still, you know, bringing the fight to a very close way manner. I think I really like that. But again, I mean, overall, in a nutshell, a really good game. Golden Stars did come out on top. I really loved how these teams did take those fights. We did see fights throughout. But again, I mean, you've got to talk about Team NFP Sky over here, rather Team Sky, as they would like to call it, because I've loved them. The way they were playing, their approach towards the game, every single time, how they position their players. I mean, the first fight, we did see them going up against ZARAR, I believe. That's where they again had formed that sandwich sort of situation, right? Trying to edge in from both the sides, and the players were kind of caught in a very precarious position. And from there onwards, even when they were a 2-man squad, they still somehow managed to maintain that position, and as a result of which, did get a lot of kills. But right now, let's take a look at the MVP of this particular game, and let's find for ourselves who's that one player gonna be.
Exactly, taking a look at the MVP, and it's going to be Halsey. I mean, yeah, as you did mention, I mean, Team Sky was doing pretty phenomenal throughout that previous game, and Halsey was the man who was kind of separated out from his team, or from his teammate, I would say, because in the end, there were only 2 players alive. So Halsey was separated out from his teammate, and I would say that separation pretty much worked out in his favor, because he was able to rack up so many kills. So getting himself 5 kills and 892 damage, 2443 survival time, and then you also have 3 assists and healing done, 276. Now, I would say, yeah, a decent amount of healing done without a doubt, but I mean, hey, you are just a 2-man squad in those late kind of game moments, especially when you think that a team like Sky was about to falter down early off, they still managed to stay alive. Same thing goes to 52 Rage, right? I mean, they did such a great job staying alive in those late game circles as well. So I say props should be given. but BFM again leader. This man single-handedly took down a whole squad.
Yep, I mean, he is that good, right? I mean, the way this lad was playing in that little one compound, the team opposite to them, they had no idea as to what was really going on. But again, I mean, I really the game, of course, went into Golden Stars' favor, and they did really good, and they had a good start. But then again, you know, I would really come down to an FP Sky again, because they got a good number of kills. They again got that third position. So in terms of overall points, I'm pretty sure they will be up top. But now taking a look at the match summary in front of us, we've got Halsey, of course, having the highest skill, but it's going to be OT, a man who's got the longest skill, rather.
Exactly, 280 meters. Now, I don't know if you have noticed here. So I was casting, you know, the Nepal region over there in the PMNC. So over there, the thing were, I mean, it was pretty much a fun fact that I would like to tell you. So in the Miramar map, the distance were pretty close, and the farthest distance were on the map of Sanhok. So this was kind of like a weird thing. Me and Johnny had to talk about this, and Johnny was as well. Like, he was like, this is kind of weird, right? On the map of Miramar, we're not really seeing that many distance kills, and on the map of Sanhok, though, we're seeing a lot of distance kills, like over 300 meters.
Yeah, I mean, on a technical level, it's not really weird. We'll definitely get back to that. But taking a look at the match rankings, right? You've got Golden Stars getting 20 points for themselves right from the very first game. So the top 3 teams definitely are there, but this is where, you know, teams like Freestyle, teams like Max need to understand the competition. The level has really gone up, and of course you are 2 teams that can take a lot of kills, but at the same time you really need to focus on getting some good position. Now this was an open circle, and an edgy approach was the right way to go about it, but that is something that they did not do. But you know, coming down, you know, the longest distance debate that we have. I mean, it really makes sense, right? In Miramar, you've got a lot of ridges to play around with. True. Even if you get those knocks, there are high chances that the opponent does get that res back up. But in Sanhok, you really do not have a lot of you know, cover to hide. Either it's those big rocks or those little trees. So it's sort of easier over there. But right now, let's take a look at the Oppo moments that we have in front of us, and let's find for ourselves as to which were the teams that really dominated. And I think right off the bat, this one little push from Acid did not really make any sense, because first he was not in a good position to engage, and Khalifa with those beautiful grenades, I really loved it.
Yeah, but over here he just saw the nade, pretty much like death approaching in slow motion.
He literally saw it.
Yeah, he literally saw it right approaching on his face, and he just couldn't really do anything, right? He tried to run away, but unfortunately couldn't really do anything. But over here, I mean, Tyrant got ran over by the vehicle. Pretty unfortunate death, I would say.
Yep.
But yeah, again, I would say from the side of Freestyle, a lot of overconfident movement was being shown. Especially if you take a look at Tyrant, that man was stepping out of his cover for taking those fights, and I mentioned that as well once, and that's when he literally got taken down instantly. So it was kind of like the punishment was being done for him. But yeah, 52x Rage as well. They tried their best in the with the MK14. Yeah, it did deal quite a lot of damage, but unfortunately wasn't really able to seal the deal on the map of Erangel. But going in forward, what are your hopes?
I think I really loved how a new team rather got a chicken dinner over here. It's not the you know, old guards getting it. Rather, they were being absolutely demolished. You know, just 4 kills. Of course, I mean, we're gonna witness a comeback, maybe possibly from them in the map of Miramar. But that is where I would really want to see teams like BFM really shine, because there was this one game in the NC that I did witness where, you know, Hulk really went out of his mind, and same goes with Hawk. But that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be going in for a short little break. We will be right back with game number 2.
Here we go now.
Are you keeping it real? I'm calling shotgun, wanna see my baby run. Oh, what's the word on the sea? Kicking up the dust, if you know what I mean. We got a good thing going. We got a good thing
Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching the PUBG Mobile Club Open Season. Well, this fall split, of course. I'm having a lot of thoughts in my mind right now. I'm just losing my chain of thoughts with what is happening with all the matchups. But yes, we are here back. And, well, Necro. We've got to say it, the way things have been going on, it's really interesting, Golden Stars coming in, right off getting the chicken dinner. And right now, we've got to head into the match number 2, of course. This entire show is brought to you by Oppo F19 Pro, hashtag Book Up Your Fun. Now, taking a look at the flight path trajectory, we've got Junkyard, of course, being one of those regions that does come along the flight path. So where do you expect the zone to be forming?
I'm expecting a little southern side. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm not even gonna lie. When it comes to like the zone guesses, like I don't know if the PUBG guys just listen to what I say and they just instantly completely throw it at the opposite side. I don't know. That has been happening, but I'm expecting a little southern side, maybe surrounding Los Leones, Power Grid, like Picado, like something like that. A zone pretty much covering those areas. But yeah, plain flight path, I would say teams that do actually want to go towards Impala, Los Leones, and Chumacera, they're definitely going to be having a lot much more tougher time because, of course, the map of Miramar, we do know a massive map, and they will have to drop somewhere else, try and get those vehicles, and then only maybe they will be able to make those kind of moments, or maybe they will be able to get those kind of cities in their hands.
Yeah, of course. But, taking a look at El Azhar, that's where I believe 2 teams are just going to head off to. But no, it's going to be NFP Sky who's heading towards maybe Tierra Bronca. I believe we've got quite some scuffle happening around the southeastern side. So many teams, take a look at it. You've got 138, you've got 52 Rage, we've even got the likes of F2D, we've got Apex, we've got 4Gen. I think pretty much 50% of the lobby is in that little area over there around varying from Graveyard towards Los Leones. I believe even Impala is going to be really, really hustling with a lot of teams.
Actually, 3 teams right next to it as well. I mean, Impala, of course, it has never been this crowded before in the past. So I'm expecting some brawls to actually break out. On the other hand, though, NFP Sky, I would say they have found themselves in luck because the circle is pretty much, I would say, favoring them. They don't really need to make that much kind of rotation to actually get in the center zone. Hacienda Dead Patron, I would say, is probably kind of that centralized site, but there is one more compound next to it. I feel like getting that compound as quick as possible would be really good for any of the teams that are playing inside over here. On the other hand, though, Solo, take a look at that. They're so close to F2D. And F2D, I would say, past game, I would say decent performance, not really that great, but I'm hoping for a decent performance inside here as well. Golden Stars as well, of course, the winner of the previous game. And I would say, let's just see if they are going to be able to kind of pull it back to back.
Yeah, I think they certainly can do that. But right now, Golden Stars, AB, of course, one of those players who had a really, really instrumental role behind the team Chicken Dinner. But taking a look, we've got Team BYP right in front of us. So, of course, I mean, quite some interesting names is what we're witnessing. But right in front of them, we've got Team Apex. So, Bashi, right out in the open, has been struck down. Well, but still, no shots connected.
Exactly. Apex, for now, looking quite great, but Bashi is in such uncomfortable position. Needs to do something, needs to find a safe way out. Thank God he has a smoke in his hand, so he's going to be utilizing it to get himself a decent positioning, I would say, a decent cover. Pretty much moves back in the cover here, gets back to his teammate, of course, to get himself kind of a boost in that comfort level. But on the other hand, Golden Stars have realized, again, there are some teams right in the front lines, and they are the lads of Apex. But on the other hand as well, Golden Stars slowly and steadily, take a look at the approach being shown from these lads, right? One man is all the way on the top, who's kind of flanking out, and the other lads over here, 2 players. Actually, it's a 3-to-1 split. I do like this. As long as the guy who's separated out, his position is not compromised, then I feel like the entire kind of strategy will be given away.
Indeed. Now considering how Team Apex have positioned themselves, I really think they need to sort of recollect themselves back up together. But looking at Golden Stars, they are men on a mission, and X-Men, he's taking quite a lot of shots, but eventually AB is the one who's going to get the better out of him. And of course, I mean, Uzi, we're still looking at this weapon being used these days a lot, and it's quite surprising that we get to see it more often than usual, at least in Miramar, but it's still those early parts of the games where, you know, teams just tend to take whatever they have to work around with. Now, Golden Stars, I mean, that one little chicken dinner sort of has opened up for them, and now they're looking really confident. Like I said, right, these teams have 12 games to play, out of which they've already played one.
Yeah.
And now they have to make sure they are in the top 14 in order to make it to the next stage, you know, in order to qualify for the finals. But now Golden Stars, well, they're just gonna sit in their vehicle and head out. But sadly, you know, they've left the teammates. They do not have a lot of vehicles out there. But either ways, we're back into the fight where we've got Team BYP up against Apex.
Apex pretty much getting surrounded by two teams over here. You know, unfortunate kind of positioning, I would say. But with that being said, Apex, yeah, they have managed to kind of find their way out of that tricky spot with one casualty, though. So I would say the damage is already being dealt. On the other hand, I'm expecting a team like Apex to not really be comfortable or satisfied with the loot they've gotten for themselves, because considering the fact that they got pretty much pulled out of Impala and they got thrown out, so Apex will need to find themselves another spot which they're comfortable in and try and loot there. 52x Rage, they have found themselves quite a decent positioning, I would say, on the hilltop. But on the hilltopping also means exposed from a lot of angles, so you need to watch out, though. So I feel like, especially being the king of the hill, it also comes with a lot of responsibilities.
Yeah, indeed it does. I mean, that is where I really like the positioning of 52 Rage over here. But I'm rather surprised, Necro, as to no one went towards El Azhar, being one of those towns where you can get some really, really good loot. Now, NFP Sky, one of those teams, you know, they headed right up towards the northeastern area. They head into Campo Miltar. One of their players is looting the entire Tierra Bronca all by himself. So something that we can really assume is they're going to be completely stacked up once they get inside the zone, once they sort of, you know, reconcile with each other. But taking a look at how the zone has panned out, we've got North Esports getting up close in person against 4Gen, where Coast has already been taken down.
Pretty much, I would say, equal kind of things going on back and forth, but 4Gen still do have a little advantage inside this fight. Shapar for the back lines, take a look at that. He's kind of separated out from the rest three, but it's fine. It's a 3-1 split going in. Gaming goes down low. He's finally back on his feet. Ghost is down. He's completely knocked out from the side of North. But North, again, a big kind of team. If you are going to be crumbling down this early off, that would be quite a questionable kind of start for your side. Zameen, he's inside that little building. Up till now, it's quite safe, but I would say, yep, as soon as he starts moving, that means his position being revealed, and that means 4Gen will pretty much start pushing against him, and that's what exactly is happening. Zameen, though, still comes out on top in that previous fight. Gaming was being shut down, but Savage is there to pretty much take care of Zameen. So Zameen will be taken down, instantly finished. Of course, it's a free meal. Why would you not eat it?
I mean, the squad completely just kind of self-detonated themselves in this particular fight. I seem to have found no reason as to why they would go for a push like this, considering this was not even the fight. I mean, what's the objective behind it? You have to get inside the circle. You are sort of going for this particular compound, which has already been taken by one of those teams. Now, things started falling down when he was down with their option initially, but look at it, spraying on and continuing, still has a lot of bullets in his Mag 92. Oh man. I mean, any single time you have that M249, you see even a vehicle right up in front of you, you're just gonna mow it down.
Yeah, of course. I mean, why not? You know, you just have like 150 bullets in the magazine. Why not just hold down the trigger? On the other hand, though, well, Oxy OP down to such low HP. He's also taking a lot of zone damage. Falls back, his teammates are there to kind of retrieve back the attention of the enemy lads onto themselves. So Oxy gets a decent amount of time to heal himself back up. On the other hand, the 4Gen Savage gets, of course, yeah, it seems like kill feed is a little delayed here, but yeah, F2D now pretty much trying their best to fight back in this kind of a situation. Golden Stars as well joining the fray. F2D, I mean, Golden Star did have themselves kind of one player being knocked out. So their damage has been dealt, and that's a fantastic shot right onto Lewis. So he's going to be falling down as well now. Jaguar is going to be the man. He does know Oxy's right below him, but the Jaguar is trying to take this position, or trying to play this position as safe and as cautiously as possible. Knock right behind him. He's also taking a lot of damage, and yes, he will be knocked out from 33 AK, but that shift, though, from the side of Jaguar instantly shuts down AK as well, and now Oxy, I feel like he has a lot of pressure, including AB as well, but look at the coup being utilized as cover, I would say. But no, instead, AB is getting greedy here. He wants to kill.
Yeah, he indeed wants to, and there you have it. You know, you've got that Tommy gun, but does he have enough meds on him? He's going to, of course, patch himself up with those bandages, but I really feel Golden Stars are getting the better out of the players of F2D. Sort of,
His teammate.
Yeah, two of their teammates have been taken down.
No,
And,
he's
well,
out.
Lewis, well,
Yeah.
even same goes with 33 AK. I mean,
Why?
Golden Stars, what on earth were they even thinking taking this particular fight? You know, there's, no first aids on these lads. And now, well, Freestyle are getting the better out of Team Maxed.
That was so weird from
Yeah.
AB, though. Like, he could have easily saved his teammate's life utilizing that coup as a cover and then pretty much get him back on his feet. But I feel like, yeah, that kill, I don't know. I would say that's an imposter right there. But, yeah, I mean, respect being knocked out. The res is being stuck by Sunny there. So he's, of course, going to be getting back on his feet. Max D again on that receiving end, I would like to say, because as respect has been back up on his feet, right? He's still being knocked out. But he will be back on his feet anytime soon. But take a look at Tyrant, the massive flank that he's actually making. But unfortunately, his position has been compromised. That means Maxi are pretty much well aware of what's exactly happening surrounding them. Rex is down low, of course. Rahi, same thing. He also did take a decent amount of damage. Rahi being shut down from the backlines. Oh no, this is absolutely huge. Tyrant now, this is pretty much his go call. And this is where Tyrant is going to be striking in. And this is what Tyrant exactly is doing. He's still taking this approach kind of safe and sound, which is pretty understandable. He wants to make sure he's utilizing those utilities to perfection. On the other hand, though, Max D have realized that, okay, maybe exiting out from this situation is probably the most mature decision he can make, or at least try and give Rex the backup fire, and this is what the lad in the buggy is trying to do now.
Indeed, that is what he is, of course, trying. But Max, right now, Rex, look at him. He's been taking a lot of shots. Now, this is perfect for coming in from Freestyle, right? The way they sort of surrounded them, engulfing like an amoeba. Now, again, Max, they're in a whole world of trouble, losing out on two of their players. It's all down to Acid and Hakar. Both these players have really good potential, but Freestyle, they're going to be happy with all the kills that they are getting for themselves. Now, I think Hakar has been spotted. Tyrant, however, is sort of indeed closing out on him. Now, Hacker, he does realize Black has made it up close and personal. Any single moment, he might just get pushed on.
Sunny, as you did mention, any single moment he might just get pushed on. And look at that Molotov, barely surviving it as well. He's on the edge. If he spreads a little bit more far away, that means Hakar will pretty much be burnt down to a crisp. On the other hand, though, Hakar now still steps out. Oh no, I feel like stepping out wasn't really the choice there. It wasn't really a good move because he gave his position away. But still, Sunny seems like he's quite unknown. He's pretty much spamming the left side of that angle, and instantly Sunny almost gets caught off guard. The headshot was being connected, but wasn't really able to follow it up with another shot, so that means Hakar is going to be pretty much losing his life at this point in time. On the other hand, also on the kill feed, you also do see some frags happening left and right.
Yeah, indeed. A lot of fights happening here and there. But right now, the storyline over here is, of course, Golden Stars. After that really good first game, they've been sort of taken down, right? Right from the very get-go. Now, this is not the kind of a start that they would have anticipated for themselves, considering how they stepped in inside Miramar, got those initial few kills, but sort of got overwhelmed, you know, and got greedy, and eventually were just swatted back into the lobby. Now, taking a look at this particular circle, we've got Junkyard sort of being the epicenter, and all these teams are sort of slowly closing in. And now Team Apex, now this is one of those teams that did have that early casualty, but apart from that, you know, you've got Osif and Orochi still, you know, surviving now, and now sort of getting themselves out of the harm's way. And now they're just gonna watch all these teams fight out amongst each other, and we'll have to play the position game.
ZARAR, take a look at the approach that they're bringing inside the game here. Straight up, pretty much rocketing inside the zone. They don't really want any kind of a complicated stuff in their strategy, so which is understandable. Of course, just the first day, second game. This is the 11th game being played. That means if they're going to be playing all 12 games here. 11th game being played, first game, of course, being sealed. by Golden Stars, but this time it seems like, well, unfortunately, they were the one who got eliminated off early. But on the other hand, ZARAR now, pretty much it seems like they have found themselves a decent compound. On the other hand, Sky as well do realize, and it seems like, well, they're getting pretty jealous that ZARAR has kind of entered in their territory, and Sky are not going to be happy. So over here, ZARAR, without a doubt, of course, do have a disadvantage, but we still can't really say, or we cannot really make a solidified statement. On the other hand, another fight happening, BYP. Well, the final nail in the coffin has been put down for 4th generation, getting eliminated on 12th position. But as I did mention, now Team Sky has a massive advantage in here.
Yeah.
It just really comes down to how they're able to convert it into kind of an advantage.
You know, the only thing that they would really try and intend to do is just try to, you know, just pop off the tires of their vehicles, right? And that sort of will give them a massive advantage. If the circle sort of shifts away from them, then what Team ZARAR will have to resort to is just moving by on foot. But now, I mean, Team NFP Sky cannot really get too complacent, because the moment they do that, you've got Team Freestyle right behind you, who might just go in for the attack. But this is it, you know, this is something I was talking about. The curveball hitting, now going towards the eastern side of Junket. You've got those 2 little compounds over there that you can really capitalize on. You still have a really good spot where KQ is heading out. If you can have that high ground. But Bonga spotting out Acid, and there you have a team maxed off to another bad start. And we've reached that mid-game phase. Getting eliminated at the 11th spot is somewhere I'm not accustomed to see this team.
Exactly. But I mean, now NFP Sky, as I did mention, they had a massive advantage over here. So inside this entire situation. But the main problem is that they also do realize there's one team in the back lines, there's one team in the front lines. 52 Rage, of course, being the one who have a massive advantage inside this fight because they are inside the compounds. That means a better cover in general. On the other hand, NFP Sky just has those ridges. NFP Sky now on a move. They do realize they need to make it inside the circle. This is what they're exactly trying to do. Freestyle, again, kind of pinning down the lads of ZARAR, just pressuring them over and over again. Freestyle just seems so evil at this point in time because NFP Sky, they're just stuck down below. The circle has shifted away, and as you did mention, the vehicle's tires have been popped as well. And yep, another vehicle being popped, and with that, Sam also being popped.
And there you have it, right? You know, if NFP Sky decides to move out, it's going to be Freestyle who are going to be hungry for those kills. And of course, getting one of those knocks, they are going to be wanting even more for themselves. Tyrant will, of course, lob the grenade. And Bonga just getting taken down. And Serious, he's got slippery feet, and apparently Necro, he has fallen down to his death.
I feel so bad for him. It's like he did realize challenging this fight is like complete disadvantage, so maybe falling back is the best choice. He tried to fall back, but unfortunately he fell to his death, which is pretty unfortunate. But yeah, Freestyle now, they also do realize making it inside the circle is the main priority. ZARAR down to just that one last man alive. They have managed to secure 5 points for themselves, though, so I would say that's quite decent, but still not really enough to get yourself or get your mark in the overall rankings. And look at over here. Murza just kind of staring at the wall, admiring it, maybe. Well, on the other hand, though, play zone as well. The last man pretty much being taken down. And of course, play zones are merciless. If you're not really going to be respecting it, it will take you down.
Yeah, now taking a look at Katir. Well, the way he's positioned as. Now you've got Murtaza, right? 52 Rage. They had a really good game in the first game of Erangel, but I really want to see as to how or if they can keep up the momentum going up in their favor. You've got Kian. So a latest addition to this roster is what I'm witnessing. I really want to see as to what this player has to offer. Now, he has indeed spotted the players of Freestyle in the far off frame. You've got Katir apparently deciding to just move in, but then again he's got a squad right beside him, and this Mirados sure does make a lot of noise.
Yeah, it does, and also it's quite delicate, so I mean you need to watch out in these kind of late moments because it can pretty much blow up early, especially considering the fact that a lot of teams or a lot of players might just have the M249 being yielded, and all they need to do is just press the fire button and just never let it go. Pretty much the gun will just keep on going until the mags are emptied, and when you can imagine, especially 150 bullets being in the mag, it will take a lot of time to get emptied down or to empty it down. On the other hand, now Freestyle, again, they have found themselves a high ground, but unfortunately the tables have been flipped. 52 Rage, who had a really good positioning inside the circle, now the circle has shifted completely away from them. That means they will have to fight their way in. Especially the first boss that they will have to face is going to be Team Sky. Let's just see how things are going to be looking like here. Murza falling down. Kathir with a fantastic angle being created for himself. Faster is there as well, and I'm pretty sure he will be taken down in a fast manner as well. That's what exactly happens. NFB Sky getting shot at by Tyrant. Freestyle are the one pretty much making their path pretty much was tougher than it is. Black looking to steal kills away. Oh no, don't do it. You are stealing this kill away slowly and steadily. Foster, you might have stolen away. And yep, the kill has been stolen away by Tyrant. And Freestyle, well, it's like you guys make the food, we're here to eat it.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way life is, right? They are the chefs, but, well, you've got different customers out there. But right now, you know, NFP Sky, I really do not like their chances. They're going in for the res on their players, but do they have enough time? That's the big question, because Sunny apparently has spotted off Cairo in a really, really precarious spot, and did try to take a few shots at him. But now, Money going up against Orochi. You're going to see as to how they're supposed to be playing.
Yeah, Sunny needs to know there's no wallbang in the game, but you can't do that. But on the other hand, though, Sunny now. Pretty much again. But on the other hand, Money, though, well, he's just beaming out players back to back. And that's, with that being said, Apex completely being beamed out the lobby. You look at that. Last position being compromised. Sunny is looking at him, and he's just not going to let him go. On the other hand, Joji from the side of QE strikes in. Sky Ash being taken down. Now, Kathir is there to kind of get the res back onto Ash, though. But look at the push being coming in from the side of QE as well. I'm pretty sure I can tell that they really want to get up close and personal. But Halsey from the backlines as well getting shot at. Sky in such an unfortunate, or such in a, I would say, damaging position they have gone for themselves. Because Halsey, he's out in the open. He doesn't really have solidified compound. But Kian and Kathir are trying their best to fight for a compound for themselves. But there is a team solo that is right in their front lines, and they're not going to let their compound go that easily. Kathir completely shotting himself in the smoke. He does realize he has been surrounded from all the different angles at this point in time. So, well, just providing yourself that temporary cover is probably the best way to go.
Well, right now, the kind of an high ground advantage, the altitude that Quraysh does have. They've gotten 4 kills. They've gotten, well, all 4 of their players alike. They're looking really sharp, but look at Kathir. He has to fight death and destruction just to get up close and personal to his fallen teammate. Needs to get that rest back up. But before he does that, he needs to first patch himself up with the first aid, but that indeed does not happen. Kathir being the solo survivor over there. But you have Team BFM really going in for a push onto towards the players of Team Solo. Apparently, Bot has been taken down. But taking a look at BFM, its leader all by his lonesome. Zeus is, of course, coming along for his own friend over here. Zeus, however, getting close really. But Venom, look at him, has been taken down by the players of BYP.
Exactly. BFM quite next to them. Leader, we have seen him in the past, kind of clutching out a 1-on-4 situation. 52 Rage unleashing hell on the lads of Freestyle. They have been taken down. Respect also being taken down. So many fights happening back and forth. QE as well joined the fray. Solo on the receiving end now. Freestyle barely surviving with that one last man alive. It's going to be Black, who's barely hanging on the ridge. Black as well is getting forced out with those nades. I don't really know what to kind of give him. What kind of tips should I give him at this point in time to him? Bilal barely surviving, but oh no, he will be taken out as well. Kill being confirmed by Rage over there. 52 Rage, they're doing such a great job. They're pretty much raging on this entire kind of late game circles over here. They're pretty much raging each and every single team out. Tyrant being shut down. That was the last man, if I'm not really wrong. But no, Freestyle, they're still alive on that one last man alive. Bot is going to be the man, Bot is going to be the man. Gonna seal the deal. Leader being shut down as well. Unfortunately, the leader this time that wasn't really able to convert any kills for himself.
Indeed. Now Team Solo and Quraysh Esports. We're going to see as to how they're going to perform over here. They've been phenomenal so far. 6 kills already to these lads. And the kind of a high ground advantage they have. I think if the zone sort of does not shift in their favor in the next shift, then they will have to take their vehicles or walk off by foot. But either way, they are building up that smoke path. It's going to be so troublesome right now, considering they're way too much in the open. You've got Team BYP surviving. So again, NFP Sky sort of being really, really consistent in terms of how they've positioned themselves. Kathir getting that kill on Joji. Money has also been taken down off the picture, which sort of leaves the buy. But now he's gone too.
As you did mention, it sort of leaves him. Unfortunately, he being shut down instantly as well. Now, Quraysh, that's going to be it for their journey in the second map of Miramar. Other hand, Solo still alive with 3 players. I do want to see what they have as per the future plans goes. Sky, Kathir being knocked out. Halsey, I'm pretty sure at this point in time, his hands are itching that he really wants to make it back to his teammate and try and get the Reds back up. But how is he going to do that, especially Solo, when they have their entire sights locked onto them? Halsey is not really having the time of his life. Khan being scouted out. Luli is the man from BYP. He did kind of lock his sights onto them, but still, well, I mean, he's not really able to find a lot of info for himself.
Indeed. I mean, but then again, no, I'm sort of happy with the way these teams have played along in this particular game, right? Being the underdogs coming in, BYP already having quite a lot of kills secured for themselves, but Boat just going ham with that grenade, takes down Kathir out of the pictures. We've got the final 4 teams in front of us. Zeus, having spotted out Fighty's position, will of course lob a Molotov in his direction, where his teammate does come in for his help. But it's going to be Cairo still, getting that knock secured. Now 52 Rage, they've sort of been the revelation so far. But Cairo, he's a lone man surviving. How long can he do so? And there you have it. The final 2 teams in front of us, we've got NFP Sky somehow making it. And it's a 1v3 situation. What are the chances on Healthy?
Well, I would say chances are looking pretty slim, without a doubt, if I want to be fair and square here. But Nate being locked in, Halsey might just try and fight back in his position. But the main problem is that he just doesn't have anywhere to go. He just doesn't have a lot of breathing space. Halsey being shut down instantly. We are not really going to be seeing any poppy plays for him anymore. But hey, that's going to be it. The map of Miramar being pretty much kind of sealed the deal by the lads of Solo Esports there.
Yeah, of course. I mean, Solo Esports 6 kills again, sort of a similar storyline that we witnessed in Erangel from Golden Stars. They took their time, right? They eventually just started stepping up towards those final phases of the game. But what I really liked about 2 teams in particular over here, I will have to take their names, has got to be NFP Sky and, of course, Team 52 Rage. Especially 52 Rage, considering how they've been making it to the top 3 every single time they come inside the game. Now, this circle was sort of uncommon, we can say. We haven't really seen the circle panning down so eastern towards in Miramar, because either ways, either goes towards inside the waters, or usually we see that centralish circle coming out. Now again, the big names have of course fallen. Now we have to talk about let's say North Esports right from the very start with a very, very bad push.
Yeah, I don't know. They just seemed so desperate when they actually pushed in there. It wasn't really needed, especially if you do know that the compound is being secured by a team, and pushing them inside the compound, especially in that early of a game when you don't really have a lot of utilities to flush them out, it doesn't make any sense to do so. You need to only push in the houses, especially if you do have those Molotovs going in for those frag grenades. Smoke grenades are pretty much not that useful. Maybe those flashbangs will be useful if you have accurate info that, oh, if the guy's inside that kind of a room hiding, then you can pretty much toss in a flash nade, then pretty much try and get inside the room and try and take them down. But in that early of a game, I'm expecting not a lot of teams to have that many kind of utilities to work around it. So, of course, pushing inside that compound, especially when you do know that there are 3 players inside that one single building, it doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't really. I mean, it was the lack of information that they had to act out on. But right now, let's take a look at which player is going to be the MVP of this game. Of course, has to be Tyrant. I mean, Tyrant, well, Freestyle, they've been really flashy. We've seen them going in for a lot of kills. And Tyrant, of course, has collected 5 of them. Now, what is really interesting is his damage numbers, right? One of those only players getting 960 points of damage. And that's a good number.
Exactly. Actually, pretty close to 1,000 damage, I would say. Tyrant, yeah, Freestyle, I would say they were stealing a lot of kills in that initial kind of hill they had. But hey, as long as they are able to get themselves on those boards, that's what really matters. But yeah, these are the top 5 players from that previous game. And of course, you will see Rage's Cairo as well in there. And then you also see Solo X Khan. Then you also see BFM Hawk in there as well with 2 kills, 575 damage. And then Hadi as well with only 2 kills, 516 damage. So BFM, I would say a consistent performance.
Well, for BFM, I think one of those things, it's kind of an expected performance from them because we did talk about this, right? This is one of those teams that really thrives in Miramar. But 52 Rage and Team Sky, these are the two teams that have really impressed us with the kind of consistency they had. Now, now this is something that is really relatable, right? Khan, again, one of those players. I mean, every single tournament, I do see a Khan. He comes with a lot of promises. But as we head along and take a look at the match summary, Necro, this time we've got a longest distance kill at the 305-meter mark, and Black has done that. So finally, I think the deadlock sort of has been broken. In Miramar, we do get to see long kills confirmed.
Yeah, we pretty much deserved, I would say, and especially from the squad freestyle, you do see man like Tyrant and Black stepping in. The OG lads making their mark again back on the boards. But with that being said, match ranking, of course, in front of your eyes, freestyle able to get themselves the 6th position. But yeah, I would say they did do quite a lot of damage. They got themselves 9 kills, which is pretty much the most inside the entire lobby. Solo Esports getting themselves 21 points in total, 6 skill points for themselves, and placement points 15. BYP Elites on 2nd place, getting themselves 10 placement points, 6 skill points. And then, yeah, again, Golden Stars, unfortunately, in this game wasn't really that consistent. So, fixes. Now, over here, there's also taking a look at how Golden Stars have been playing, right? This also brings us kind of a conversation that we have, right? In those initial stages, you do see a team kind of performing really good, and then later on, they just falter down. Do you think, though, Golden Stars is going to be one of those?
I mean, right now, Necro, to be honest, we are still too early to be, coming into a conclusion because just 2 games have been gone by. And Golden Stars, of course, the way they started off their first game could not really carry forward with that momentum in the second one. Were really overwhelmed. But now, what we are going to do is take a look at the Oppo moments of this particular game, where we did see action breaking right from the very get-go. Now, this was Golden Stars, that did manage to get the first knock, and then they sort of succumbed down to the injuries, to how the zone really went on. And again, Team Max not really having the kind of game that they would have wanted, to be honest. And they really need to understand that they have to step up because, again, you've got some really good players like Acid, Hacker, Rahi. All of you have been sort of witnessing so many fights together throughout. They have had a long competitive journey over here, especially in the NC, where they did play a lot of games.
Exactly, they definitely did do quite good in there as well. So, as you did mention now, is they're realizing points that, okay, setting the momentum in forward for the first day is probably really important, but as I did mention as well, right, experienced team, they don't really like to do that. It's like they let some few days slide over. I would say at least the first day they would let it slide up. I'm like, okay, then maybe in the second day they can pretty much decide to kind of chime in and try and make their mark. But the overall rankings, with that being said, and it seems like Solo are the one who are going to be leading the charts. Pretty much consistent performance from their side. Same thing goes with Sky, and then you also have Rage. Golden Stars, they did get themselves that chicken dinner in the first game, but they didn't really secure a lot of points. Of course, they will be thrown down instantly to the 4th place.
Now, consistency has always been the key, right? Solo Esports, Team Sky, 52 Rage, sort of display where it can take you, right? I would still say it's right out in the open. One good chicken dinner from any of the teams, even from the 16th position, can change a lot of things.
Yeah.
But I really liked how these teams are playing right now. We're witnessing new names and new potential talents are definitely stepping up. Now, in those next few matches, we're going to have a keen eye on as to how good Khan is going to be playing from Solo. Now, Team Sky sort of has settled in really, really well. The way these lads have been playing, I mean, I'm kind of enjoying it. Every single time their positioning. One thing, however, they can focus is trying to keep their men alive towards the very end. That is that only one shot coming I do witness from them. But Max Esports at the 15th position with just 5 points is something that we're really not accustomed to see, and the same can be said for North Esports, especially when you've got players like Daku and Zameen in your roster. So I think Sanhok might sort of be the game where things change for them, but again, they will have to figure something out.
Sanhok, I would say, look, yeah, Sanhok is kind of a map where best of the best teams do falter down, because the problem here is that Sanhok is heavily reliant on zone, and it just really comes down to like if the zone shifts and if it completely shifts on a team, that team has a massive chance of winning the game. Now imagine if it's a late game zone, and of course Sanhok being a small map, that means you do expect a lot of teams kind of surmounting around the zone without a doubt. So if you do want to make it inside a zone, especially where there are a lot of Guardian Angels just guarding the zone lines, how are you supposed to make it inside, especially considering it's a smaller map?
Yeah, indeed. It's a really small map, but the action gets really intense.
Yeah.
But right now, ladies and gentlemen, what we're going to be doing is head for a shuttle break. We will be back with game number 3.
Here we go now.
Are you keeping it real? I'm calling shotgun, wanna see my baby run. Oh, what's the word on the sea? Kicking up the dust, you know what I mean. We got a good thing going. We got a good thing going on.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with, of course, game number 3, and you are watching the PUBG Mobile Club Open, the Pakistan region, of course. brought to you by Oppo F19 Pro. And yes, we are heading into game number 3 right now. It's gonna be in Sanhok. Now, let's just head into the game and find for ourselves what action awaits for us.
Exactly, directly heading inside the game. Playing flat fight starting from Sami, ending towards Hatin. Pretty much left-sided, but hey, again, we do know it's the map of Sanhok. You shouldn't really have that much of problem extending your parachutes, but again, extending means you wasting a lot of time, and that means you're not really going to be getting enough time to actually make it inside the circle, or at least in the center that early as early as possible. But on the other hand, teams already we are seeing quite being dispersed around here and there. Max D, they are going, I mean, I would say pretty much separated out because Rahi's going all the way towards Camp Alpha. So pretty much it seems like they kind of calculated that maybe there's no one there. But again, if there was someone, then I would say Rahi would have been in a massive trouble.
Indeed, he would have right now. But we do have a boot camp collision happening in front of us. It's going to be between Team ZARAR and Team 2EZ4. So that is one of the fights that I really have my eyes at. But now taking a look at Team Apex going maybe up against Solo. No, that's not going to happen. But we do have another Paradise Resort skirmish. So we've got 52 Rage and NFP Sky. So that is one of those fights I really want to see. Because we're talking about, you know, the top 3 going up against each other in that skirmish. But we've got Sirius and Rio in the second rotation, where we've got Sam and Bonga in the first rotation, and 2EZ4 just playing in from the central compound.
Exactly. From the central compound, they have found themselves quite comfortable places, I would say. But ZARAR, on the other hand, now, what was that nade from Red? I don't know why he lobbed that nade next to him, but hey, it's fine. Maybe he's just had a little bit of illusion that maybe there's someone next to him. But yeah, ZARAR with a 2-2 split. On the other hand, same thing goes with 2EZ4. They have also managed to kind of split themselves up here, but yeah, the centralized compound, that means you do have a lot of eyes around you, and that's what exactly is happening, right? Zaid has his sights locked on the lads of ZARAR as he has realized there is someone right in the front compound. On the other hand, Bonga as well has realized that there are lads of 2EZ4 right in the front lines, and how are they going to be taking them down at this point in time? So again, this is that kind of initial situation where the last time we did see some teams pushing inside the building and getting completely demolished. Yeah. So what do you think? So if you're in a centralized compound and you personally do want to take out the lads that are either surrounding you, or especially if you are surrounding the centralized compound, what are you supposed to do?
I mean, it is quite perceptive as to how you really want to approach and what is your gameplay style, right? Now, if you're a team that really loves aggressing, what you can do is just spread off. And well, Team 2EZ4 has opted. I think they, like I said, they've gone for a central approach. So they're going to be waiting out for the players of, you know, ZARAR to make any sort of move, right? The only objective will be finding their players off guard. But now, the players of ZARAR need to find different angles. The moment they try to spot the players now, that's where they get the first knock. They will have to try and close in, but I do believe we have got a fight amongst us. And you've got Shamir already getting the first knock, and Trona trying to push in as players of QE in a bit of trouble.
138 on that receiving end now. Again, Samir, as you did mention, he's down quite, I would say, like 70% HP. But finally, he's healing himself back up, utilizing the first aid. He doesn't really have any bandages. Yeah, I was about to say, oh, utilizing the first aid for such a small HP amount of cover isn't really that good of a choice, but then he just doesn't have any kind of bandages going in for himself. This also means teams are not really well settled to fight or to get in a brawl, but they're still trying to fight back over here. Samir instantly trading the fray out over here. He did manage to find one trade for himself. Mani was the one being shut down. Bilal did realize Samir has kind of given his position up, but this also means Samir does have a decent info on Bilal. Bilal instantly going to be deciding to rush inside the compound here. Look at the pre-fire being utilized by Shamir as well. And yep, this time Bilal, again, a desperate push. Why do you think so? He did that. It wasn't really needed there, right? He did realize his teammate was being knocked out. At the same time, they had an advantage in the fight. But still, I mean, the damage has been dealt, right, on both these sides. I would say QE, this was an unnecessary damage being dealt on their side. And Farhan, oh, you can try and flank the fight, but instead he doesn't really do that.
I mean, really weird things are happening. And
Yeah.
it's very difficult to really say what's going on, considering what the teams are really opting for. Now, Corner has spotted out Adi, but
Uzi.
they take a few shots with his Uzi. Now, that is one of those distances where I really do not
Yeah.
like the chances. Had he had maybe a stock, could have really worked out, but now, Trona, he's just going to go around with some grenades.
Oh.
And, well, it was bit too overcooked. Had it been just a second late, then things could have been completely different. Of course, Adi just getting that chip damage. But then again, I mean, I still like the chances of the players of QB. Looking at this fight right now over here, Skyash didn't manage to get that one knock onto it faster. But Murtaza, he's in a really, really bad spot.
Yeah, he is, but not anymore. Finally retrieves back to his teammates, and now Cairo as well is quite down low. Ray Zen is kind of the main priority here. They need to get the rest back on him. So this is what Murtaza is exactly trying to do in this kind of a position. It's taking the reds, and instantly Ash does realize that there is someone right in the front lines, but he still doesn't have the exact info that Murtaza has already left that fray. On the other hand, for Han, now we did see he would have had his shiny moments if he decided to flank that fight, but instead he decided to go inside the compound, which is quite questionable, I would say. But yeah, now Farhan is on the receiving end. He's trying his best to fight back this moment. Tommy Gun, though, well, he missed quite a lot of shots, and this is where Mani pretty much compromises and capitalizes on it, and he will be taking him out the game. This is it. QE got themselves pretty much an entire squad wipe, but at the same time, Bilal, it came at a cost.
Yeah, of course. I mean, a lot of things did happen, especially like you mentioned, starting off with Bilal, that one push without any cover, he just headed right in. That sort of comes down to when he is, of course, going to watch those replays, he's definitely going to figure out that, yes, he did make some mistakes, and you got to work on that. But Team Sky, they've been eliminated. So this is where Team 52 Rage, they're looking to start, climbing up the ladders even further, with Sky not really getting any point in Sanhok. Now, this sort of comes down to what you just said, right? Sanhok is such an unpredictable map. This is where the big guns tend to sort of fall off. So right now, with the way things have gone off, Team Solo, they're definitely enjoying themselves right at top, and now have a good position inside the circle. Now, looking at this zone, I really believe it can tend to shift somewhere around the Paradise Resort or maybe towards Pan. But Necro, do you have any other opinions? Any other places the zone might go?
Circle shift, I would say it's quite questionable to say, but I'm expecting a kind of a sudden shift here near Quarry. That's what I'm expecting. Maybe kind of like a bottom right, I would say, near Bond and Quarry, stuff like that, that area being covered. But MK14 in the airdrop one, and with the suppressor as well, hey, you might as well try and go for it, I mean, you can use that MK14 in the close range. I would say that's quite devastating. That's quite damaging. But, yeah, now, I am telling you this. Somehow the PUBG gods listen to what I say, and they just completely throw the circle at the opposite side. I don't know why.
I mean, maybe you've not made your offerings. Maybe you need to start doing it, because the same used to happen with Johnny and me, and then we sort of did our job, and then they started respecting our prayers, and well, they did acknowledge it, and we were granted our zones. But taking a look at this, pretty much a standard circle, nothing really out of ordinary that we are witnessing. So this is where Golden Stars really have a good chance, and the same can be said for Team Apex as well. But taking a look at the split, and I'm not really a big fan of the 2-2 splits in a map like Sanhok. This is where I really feel that you should be sticking as a 4-man squad, considering you can be threatened from absolutely any direction, any possible moment. That is how intense the matchup really gets. But talking about the bootcamp area, we've got ZARAR making the move from the northern side, but the second airdrop, the MG3 light machine gun, is something I would really love to have in my arsenal.
Definitely. You would love to have that one, but hey, it just really comes down if you're comfortable with it. Teams, I don't really know if they do want to make sure and go for it. Yeah, of course, if you do find it in the way while you just trying to traverse around, then yeah, pretty much you would go for it without a doubt. But I don't really feel like it's kind of a gun where you would risk your life for it. But too easy for, again, they do realize there is one more team in the front lines. It's going to be QE. And how are they going to be pretty much tackling them down? That's what they're thinking at this point in time. I'm pretty sure about that. But Dubai now is the man pretty close to that. And look at the flank being created by Khalifa. I'm expecting his position to be compromised, honestly, because there was someone looking out the window, and Khalifa pretty much approached out in the open. So I'm expecting Khalifa's position to be compromised. I'm expecting QE to be really aware of what's happening in their surrounding, because 2EZ4 is surrounding them from all the angles.
Indeed. I mean, this is something that, you know, they will have to look out for, considering they have that one little blind spot, right? Considering Bilal has been taken out of the equation. So this is going to be a massive factor. And if 2EZ4 decide, you know, to engage, then it's going to be troublesome. But then again, you know, the principle still remains the same. You know, try to, if you're taking a fight, try and get it done within 2 minutes. Because if you don't, if you're taking shots, then there's a high possible chance that you might get third partied. Now, taking a look at Team 2EZ4, I think, you know, the kind of a TPP position that Tifa does have for himself, he's just waiting, you know, he's just anticipating some teams might just come in any single moment, has sort of that flank angle, and well, in a couple of minutes might just spot the players of ZARAR closing in.
As you did mention, maybe in a couple of minutes he will spot the players of ZARAR actually joining the fray as well, but for now, again, fight continuing between 2EZ4. Khalifa, as I did mention, I'm expecting his position to be compromised, and yes, it was. Khalifa was moving out in the open over and over again, and finally he has been punished as well. This is where he's trying to kind of get back to his teammate. The rest will be stuck onto him, so there shouldn't really be that worrying of factor over here. Unfortunately, Mr. Fix getting caught off guard out in the open. He has to thank his luck at this point in time. He made it back into safety in the nick of time. Khalifa being rest back up. Tifa is there to kind of in the clotheslines to give him that comfort level. Khalifa going to be healing himself back up. But again, QE, they're doing quite a great job keeping the lads of 2EZ4 on their knees.
Well, right now, I mean, I really like it from QE, like you just mentioned, right? The kind of a play they are going for, they've spotted down the players, but they need to understand now. The zone has taken a shift away from them. Now, they're nearer to the circle. They need to make that rotation, and they can easily do that, you know, without taking any casualties. But still, you know, spotting Tifa out will definitely get the knock. But what is he going to achieve from that? Because the moment, you know, Team QE decides to go in for the push, that is where the zone will start closing in. Of course, Khalifa will get that revive onto its Tifa, but that's where the trouble begins, right? Now, QE, they have to get inside the circle, but you already have a team like Freestyle waiting for you.
Exactly. Now, team like Freestyle, if they are actually waiting for you, then things will be really tough. But yeah, take a look at the separation as well from the side of QE, right? I mean, this is a massive separation. I personally don't really like this, but hey, maybe they do have a game plan over here, you know. I'm expecting the lad who are already inside the circle, he's kind of creating a space for his teammates to actually come inside later on, right? Because the other lad is trying his best to kind of hold the lads of 2EZ4 on the bay, and while the other lads have already found themselves a decent spacing inside the circle. So that's what the game plan probably was in here. But 52x Rage, one lad has already been taken down. That's going to be faster again. And faster, it seems like today, I mean, he's not really able to do that great, but airdrop 3 on the board, and it's going to be the Groza.
Indeed. I mean, this is the perfect kind of weapon that you would want if you have a suppressor with you, but not really the right, you know, accompaniment. We've got that 8-time scope, so really do not find any purpose for it in Sanhok. A few players do like to take it, but then again, I am not a huge fan. I think even a 4 times should suffice, and usual preference is a 3 times. But you know, again, coming back to the teams in hand that we have in front of us, so you've got Faster already losing out on his life, and 52 Rage. Well, they did not quite have a good start against ZARAR in bootcamp, having dealt with that casualties. But Team Solo, they definitely are enjoying themselves, right? At the top spot, did manage to take down Team Sky. They're kind of having the time of their lives over here, and it's I must say, a really good start for them. And if they can sort of again find a top 3 finish for themselves, I think that sort of a good start would be turned into a really amazing start.
Yeah, exactly. And considering the fact they've already kind of gotten 4 kills for themselves, so they're looking quite great up till now. That means 4 points being secured in their hand. On the other hand, Freestyle, on that receiving end, this is quite massive. They're also getting shut down slowly and steadily. Freestyle need to kind of get themselves back out of this little pickly situation they found themselves in. On the other hand, Golden Stars as well, pretty much surrounded by Solo. And one more squad is there right in the front line. So many teams have started accumulated in the center lines and right next to each other as well. Sunny out in open, and he will be burnt out by Hadi's Molotov. Well placed, I would say that's a 5-head Molotov right there. Sunny was being knocked out, also will be instantly finished. That means the kill has been acquired now. Leader, they need to watch out for a man like Leader because he can make a lot of solo plays happen.
Indeed, he can, but considering Freestyle, I think they want to go in for the push, but Leader, this is what we were expecting from him, right? Having that M249 and dishing Wrath from down below. Now, Hadi, he definitely has a good angle, but has been spotted by Flash and has thrown in and gone in for the spray, but to miss all the shots.
Yeah, it wasn't really able to connect any shots, or at least not really finding any connections. Black, though, again being taken out. Freestyle, respect. They're expecting to confirm the kill out of him. Well, Tyrant is trying his best to fight back, but not anymore. He's going to be shut down instantly by a big mammoth-like squad. By BFM, doing such a great job. Leader, of course, shining in at those right moments. That perfect Molotov placement from the side of Hadi as well. Did realize there's a massive chance that the guy will decide to kind of fall back to his teammates. That's why he kind of Molotov the entire kind of outskirts of the building.
Yeah, I mean, right now, the kind of a position they had, I really did not like the chances. I mean, that was a very sticky fight in that situation. But now, 52 Rage. Well, they're still in contention. They want that top spot. Now, quite interestingly, you know, the circle has shifted towards the eastern side. And now this is where Team Apex is going to have a really good advantage. Now, taking a look at Team Max, they've been sort of silent this time. You know, they've realized that they cannot always try to be aggressive and get away with it. Sometimes you have to play for the position. You have to play around the center. And that is exactly what they're trying to do. But this time, the northern approach is definitely going to help them. But look at Murtaza has spotted off Omer, and will, I think, finish him off any single moment. But then again, they have to get inside the zone, Necro. So this is going to be really tough. How are they going to do that?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is what we were talking about, right? Sanhok, a map which is heavily zone favored. If you find yourself inside, you got to thank your luck. If you're not really inside, then, well, it's quite unfortunate. Sometimes it can also be GG, go next game. But, hey, some of the teams are still trying their best to actually make it inside. Apex to Tosif actually finds himself a kill as well. On the other hand, Maxi Rahi kind of unleashing hell. The entire squad of Maxi are unleashing hell on the lads of ZARAR. They're on that receiving end now, so this is quite unfortunate for their side. But Maxi seems like they're looking quite promising inside this entire map of Sanhok. On the other hand, North Esports as well. Daku managed to find himself a decent amount of kills as well. So North Esports, I would say, finally, the big names, right? They are showing themselves up on the board, and finally, they're not really being eliminated out the games early off.
Well, I mean, to be honest, right now, they've done a decent job in the survival instincts that they've shown. Have managed to secure quite some kills over there. But right now, Ghost Town, of course, getting those picks onto its Khalifa. But BYP, the last game, they finished off in top 3 position. This time, they would also want to have the same result. But Johnny, look at him. Well, he does spawn out evil. Will get really greedy and salty and confirm that kill. But any single moment, he might just get spotted out. And, well, the shots are being taken, but he's still fighting. Finally has some company. And now, this is where they actually can go in for the push.
Exactly. Well, Fighty now trying his best to kind of get back near Knock Knock. F2D, again, F2D, I would say they are one of those teams who have had quite a shaky start throughout. They're not really able to make their mark on those overall rankings first space, so that is quite unfortunate. Knock Knock, though, again, decides to kind of eject out the building. This is what he's exactly done. Fighty does realize the same thing. That's why he's getting chased down now. Knock Knock, though, is finally able to make it back to safety next to his teammates. That's what his main or initial goal, as you would like to say. That's what it was. So Knock Knock is going to be at least safe for now. Serious, on the other hand, of the side of Zara, will be pretty much taken out by the play zone. So over here, look at it. Sean's position is quite good. He has a key positioning in here. This can be really game-changing, and he's trying his best to do that. And yet that AK having those close ranges, those headshots, man, so crispy.
Yeah, I mean, huge props to Kishan pulling that one clutch off. Of course, he did have his teammates over there, but those 3 kills were really feisty. And now I think this is exactly what Team F2D needed and had the perfect position, just playing around from the fence, waited for the right opportunity. And this is where, you know, the AKM really gets deadly. But Team Solo, so they're sort of carrying forward with the domination now, up close and personal with Team BFM.
Exactly. Solo quite up close and personal against him. Assad, though, on the other hand, Max D. Oh, what's going on? Max D are getting beamed out the game by BFM. Look at that. Leader single-handedly taking care of both of them. Hakar is out the zone. He's taking quite a lot of damage as well. A massive chunks are being deducted from his HP. I don't really know if trying to tank that much amount of damage would really be that great of a choice, though. But Leader, look at that. Pretty much will be confirming himself that kill. BFM Leader, well, he has found himself 3 kills inside the game, so that is absolutely huge. Solo right at the front lines. BFM does realize there is still a kind of a damaging factor near them. And how are they going to be making it out of this tricky position? Because imagine if the circle shifts away from them. I mean, yeah, this is kind of one of the most like late games, and they do have one of the best positioning. But if it moves away, just in case, out in the open, that would be really tough for them. Leader, though, again, striking in huge. Hucker being shut down, and this is where Max D now again trying their best to kind of fight back. This is where a man like Assad needs to chime in.
I mean, I really could not understand. I mean, he was making some really quick reflexes, but, you know, these are the kind of shenanigans you would want to pull off with something like a red dot, because you still have that little bit of an ADS time on that 6 time, and does not really help what you are trying to achieve. Might look really flashy, but eventually there's no end product to it. But now, Leader, of course, shifting down towards his M249. But we've got to say it, Necro, like the circle that has taken the shift right now, you've got Solo in those little 2 compounds, you've got the players of Team BFM, both in that similar same compound that we have. It's just those houses that are different. But right now, we've got the last 2 players of Team Maxed, and it's going to be Acid and Rex, right? Considering the fact that the position might have just been compromised, because we have teams looking at their direction, it's going to be really tricky as to how this game ends for them. But there you have it. Regardless, Rex does manage to get a knock onto its Adi from QE. But now he's got to do more than that. He's got to get inside the zone, and he needs to survive. But Zeus did actually, you know, get pushed upon by the players of Golden Stars, and now the numbers are Solo. They are reducing.
Exactly. Numbers are definitely reducing. And this is not really looking good. The Golden Star as well, I would give them a lot of props at this point in time, because they're doing a great job in that survival aspect of the game, but kind of lagging in those gunfights, I would say. But still, North Esports, on the other hand, though, Daku kind of chiming himself up. QE, as I did mention, they only had 2 players alive, and from that now, again, 1 player being knocked out. Now the massive burden is on that one initial man who's left on his shoulders. Last man being shut down as well, with a perfect nade coming in again from the side of Daku, and that's going to be it for their side. But look at this push being made from the lads of Max D. Once that throws out in the open, they just don't really have any other choice to do, because they're out in the open, and of course they will get shredded. They don't have any other choice as well, because the zone is closing right behind them. And Max D, again, will be eliminated out the game on 6th position.
But this time it was really decent, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the kind of an approach they had did not really get too cocky about themselves. But North Esports now all comes down to Daku being one of those phenomenal fraggers during the NC has eventually being taken down by Hadi. Now Team BFM, they're looking really sharp, they're looking really promising. Now you've got Team Solo again making it to the top 4. Now Kishan, we did see that little clutch coming out from him in that situation, completely wiping out the entire squad, but now he's just opted for the healing battle. So we've got 3 teams inside the circle, and 3 of them, in fact all of them, are just going to be waiting for the zone to start closing in, because from what I can see, it has sort of shifted in Golden Stars and Solo's favor.
It has definitely shifted right next to them. Venom and Bot are still alive from the side of Solo. But they need to watch out from a squad like BFM because they have been single-handedly dominating each and every single situation that they've been put into. Hadi again getting real up close and personal. He has closed the distance in. Now this is where they're trying to find themselves an opening, which they can pretty much utilize later on to get inside. And considering the fact that Hadi doesn't even have a helmet for himself, his head's quite vulnerable. He need to watch out in these kind of moments. Hadi still, though, he's quite bold and brave. And yep, as I did mention, he doesn't have a helmet. And this is where he has a massive disadvantage. He catches the bullet right in the head. He will instantly get shut down. With that being said, Sholo chiming in huge and completely shutting down a squad like BFM. This is absolutely huge. Golden Stars now, they decided to chime in as well. This might just be Golden Stars' game again. Venom down low, and yes, they do it again. Oh my god, in day one, Golden Stars, I mean, still one more map to come, and they've already got themselves 2 chicken dinner. So
wow. Amazing, amazing. I really like the composure on these lads. Again, 6 kills now have sort of, you know, gotten those consistent performance in terms of the first and the third game. The second game sort of was the point where they really realized that they need to play the circle more often. You know, going head-on Killmonger style is not going to work out. And again, this time, 6 kills for these lads, 1246 damage. That's really, really neat and sharp. And the best part about this entire map was how the circle shifted, right? How did you anticipate the center? Now, we had 3 teams over there. That was BFM, Solo, and Golden Stars did come in, took down one of those players of Team Solo, and then sort of had that compound for themselves. Now, the push coming in from the players of Team BFM, that is where I would really like to commend Bot. Because the way he went in a situation where I think it would have been a complete wipe, he still held on. And getting those knocks was so impressive. And then it was sort of a 2v1 situation. Well, the last player could not just do much, and as a result of which, Golden Stars again, another fantastic chicken dinner. Now, let's take a look at which player is going to get the MVP. And, well, has to be Leader. I mean, of course, Team BFM. They finally stepped up, and Leader will, of course, get those 6 kills and 943 damage, which is something really good, especially in a map like Sanhok.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, gotta say, they had a banger of a game in the map like Sanhok. They got themselves 6 kills and damage being dealt of 943. I mean, massive numbers from a man like Leader. What else do you expect, right? BFM, they had pretty much a poppy performance throughout the game in that previous map of Sanhok. And again, I'm expecting greatness in forward as well in the future lines. Again, of course, the final map is going to be Miramar, or Erangel, my bad. So it's going to be quite interesting to see how things are going to be looking like again on the map of Erangel, considering the fact that Golden Stars were the one who sealed the deal on the Erangel of the first map. So what do you think? So in the final one as well, they can do it?
I mean, well, I think so. There is a possibility, but considering with the way the other teams are really playing, I think we might have a completely different win altogether. But taking a look at the top players this time, you know, Bot had to be there, right? 6 kills already, and yeah, in terms of damage numbers, could have been a little less, but it's all right. I mean, as long as those kills are being counted, it's still the same number, right? Now, Hadi also from Team BFM did play out his mind. So, this game, of course, we did see the players of Team Golden Stars winning it off. But in terms of kill points, it was again the players of BFM that managed to get the more points, the more kill points over here. So, taking a look at the match summary, I really do not find anything ridiculous to talk about. Of course, Louis, he's went in for those 9 utilities, and this is something really common in Sanhok, right? You do not witness a lot of smokes, a lot of trends being used out. But I think one little play that I really loved was that clutch from Kashan.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that was quite great clutch. But again, as I was really kind of you know, stumbled out by the push being made from the side of Hadi as well, right? Against Sola.
Yeah.
As I did mention, he didn't really have any helmet as well. Yeah, I do understand the zone was closing in, but I still feel like he could have routed out for a different kind of an approach. There was Golden Stars right next to him as well, but I still feel like kind of, you know, proning it out in that ground and just waiting out, or at least waiting for his teammate to push in first and then maybe marching in the back lines would have been a greater option. But instead, I feel like Hadi just got a little bit too impatient there, and it decided to push in, and he just catches the bullet straight up in his skull and instantly gets shut down. So that was quite an unfortunate moment for BF, and I feel like that was kind of a massive problem. That's why they faltered down. But it doesn't matter. Look at that. They still came on top with flying colors. 26 points for themselves. 16 kills racked up fixes in that previous game.
Exactly. This is what I was talking about, right? And 10 kills came from just 2 players. The remainder 2 got cumulative 6 more. So now, with that being said, this is exactly what we would expect from a squad like BFM. Now, we have seen them in the past. We have seen them in the NC really stepping up. But this time, 52 Rage was sort of a little silent, and the same can be said for Freestyle and Team Sky, both being eliminated really early on. So, of course, Team Sky getting the better, did go for a different fight against another team, but eventually were sort of third-partied by Team Solo. Which is very common in Sanhok. But right now, let's take a look at the Oppo moments for this particular match and find those really good times where we had some really phenomenal plays. And this one little push from Bilal was highly questionable. But what I really want to see is that clutch being made by Kshan.
I'm pretty sure we are going to be seeing that in the moments, though. But yeah, again, getting our convo back to the big teams, right? Faltering down early off. Teams like Freestyle, BFM were the one, I gotta say, especially the confidence that Freestyle has been showing inside the game, and considering the fact that they get absolutely rolled over by a team like BFM, this is a massive statement, because Freestyle now, they need to realize that, okay, they need to start taking things a little bit to the next level now. And yeah, this clutch, exactly, that AKM in those close ranges, this headshot right there, it was game changing. And I mentioned as well right there in the nick of time that, okay, he has a key positioning, he has a game-changing positioning, and he can make a lot of things happen, and it's what exactly he does. Kshan, utilizing that ball, pretty much that third-person perspective to perfection, and completely flipping the tables in his favor. Over here, as well, as I did mention, catches the bullet right in his skull and gets instantly shut down.
Look at this, Bot had really low HP, but he had to commit. He had no other option. Yeah. And there was much not left for Venom to really go on with. And as a result of which, they did fall down. Of course, a really good game for Team Solo, of course, yet again, as they have sort of maintained that first spot for themselves, in terms of how consistent they have been throughout. 55 points, with Golden Stars getting 2 chicken dinners. Now BFM just on that 16 kill rampage that they did go for. Look at the kill points, 27. So really looking aggressive, really looking neat. But now, like you said, right, Team Sky, Team Freestyle did not quite have a good start. The big guns have fallen off. But we sort of saw that resilience being displayed by North Esports, with Daku surviving for quite some time over there. So I think one thing that Team North is going to feel is, well, they finally figured out that positioning has been one of those issues. If that can be resorted to, they can be back into the game. And the same thing can be said for Team Max Esports as well.
Exactly. Now, but I would say Daku, like, he had a massive amount of like flash plays. I would say that those nade kills coming in through from his side, he completely wiped out a squad with that nade. Last 2 players were alive, and then he completely just put the final nail in the coffin with just utilizing those initial nades in itself. But yeah, in the overall rankings, of course, F2D right on down on 9th position. They have managed to kind of move themselves up though on the. They did get themselves 16 points in 3 games. I would say that's still quite shaky. Same thing goes with Freestyle. I had a lot of expectations from this team, but hey, we can't really make any statements. I'm the only one who said in the first days, teams just like to kind of experiment things around, so maybe that's what they're doing. But if the day 2, they do the same thing, then I don't really know what to say.
Right now, with the way things are going, Necro, you've got just 12 games, right? Out of which 3 are already over. So, this is where the reverse countdown sort of takes in. Now, having played all 3 maps, we're going to be heading back into Erangel. Now, we did see Golden Stars getting a chicken dinner in the first game. Now, this time, I really want to see someone else, because, of course, then it would just be a one-sided show, right? This is where I would want to see maybe someone from the likes of Team Max, maybe opting for a good start. But we do not know what's really going to happen. But right now, what we're going to do is head for a short little break. We're going to be right back for game number 4.
Here we go now.
Are you keeping it real? I'm calling shotgun, wanna see my baby run.
Hello and welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You are watching the PMCO Fall Split 2021, of course, brought to you by Oppo F19 Pro. Hashtag Wook Up Your Fun, as we are getting accelerated and excited for the final game of the evening. And it's going to be so interesting, you know. So many new teams have stepped up, Necro, and I'm going to put you under the spot right now. Who do you think is going to be winning this one? Of course, we'll be finding that after we head into the game for ourselves. Yeah, Necro, tell me.
You know what? I'm going to say Freestyle is going to be the one to win this. Because,
Freestyle?
yeah, I'm expecting them to actually win this because, as you did mention, considering the fact that you only have 12 games left, and I feel like those 3 games are enough for experimentations. And probably it's time to actually get yourself, you know, finally on the mark. But, yeah, now Freestyle, it does seem like they have, well, they still haven't really ejected out the plane fly path. But, yeah, plane fly path starting from George Pool, ending all the way towards Yasnaya. And, well, I got to see how things are going to be looking like, especially teams that do want to go towards Fair Pier.
I mean, well, interesting. You know, interesting turn of events, Necro.
Yeah.
I mean, Team BFM, after those 16 kills, they decided not to play this one.
I wonder why. But yeah, now getting our convo back here, teams like Team North, right? So in the past they have kind of going towards that school and school apps area, but this time it seems like, yep, this is what they're exactly doing again. North Esports finally going back to their basics, going towards the school and school apps area, and now Max D, well, it seems like they're still traversing around for their drop locations. ZARAR has found themselves a split between shooting range and severity, but take a look at the circle shift fixes. This is a military-based circle. That means the pressure is on the teams. The pressure is upon them to actually loot as quick as possible and cross that bridge before anyone else.
Yeah, of course. I mean, the pressure is definitely going to be too much. And talking about this, you know, you've got a certain circle, right? Taking a look at the Sosnovka military base, I mean, there's no one. There is not even a single soul in the southern island. And this is where, you know, teams like Max, I would love to see them going in for the military base early on. But this sort of a hybrid circle can even head on to its ferry pier. It all comes down to the first circle rotation. But most likely, I think it's going to be on towards those western parts of the military base.
Exactly. Yep, as you did mention, most probably it's going to be on the left side of the military base, and this is what I'm really expecting to be there as well. Or maybe it can also be one of those bridge circles. So, I mean, there have been some kind of moments. Have you ever seen that boost below the bridge, right? They actually 4 players stacked up to like above each other, like a man boost, like a human pyramid, and then they just like start completely dominating. It has happened once in the past, and it is actually right below the bridge.
I mean, I would want to see that. I have heard of it. I definitely have, but I really haven't seen that, you know, right now. But I would like to see that if teams are going to be using it. Maybe in the finals is where someone might resort for it. But this time we're going to be playing with just 15 teams, right? Like we said, our team BFM is not going to be with us for this game. But a lot of teams, there you have it, you know, right early on, they have gone in for that. So we've got Team QE, North Esports, Maxed, everyone sort of crossing through the Nova Bridge, and this is where we can see those initial fights happening. Now, this is something really promising from Freestyle, considering they've rotated early on. Now, if they can manage to make it to the military base, then this would be so good for them.
I don't really feel like going all the way deep inside military base is a good idea, because imagine if you actually want a lot of kills, right? If you want to rack up a lot of kills, camping the bridge is probably one of the best ways, especially to rack up a lot of kills, especially when you do know the circle is all the way in the military island. And this is what Freestyle has really opted out for. And I mean, as I did mention as well, maybe there's a massive chance Freestyle will win, because the first 3 games, I feel like they're quite enough for experimentation, and this is the time to actually show the results on what kind of info you have found against all the teams. Starting the day off on a good note here, Sky getting themselves a knock, I would say, on lads of Golden Stars. So this is quite looking great for them. Yep. On the other hand as well, instantly, well, I would say, Respect is going to be the one to strike on the Kathir, a big man falling down just like that, and it's going to be Freestyle to pretty much rub the salt on their injury.
Yeah, I mean, right now, the way things have happened, well, Sky are not really looking good. Of course, they've had that good start, but losing out on Kadir is something that they would never have wanted. Now, taking a look at Quraysh Esports, so, well, the last game was pretty interesting. The first game of Erangel, where they went on on a fight with the players of Max. However, they did take a lot of damage, eventually just getting wiped off. But still, this is one of those teams that can pose potential threat if not dealt with in the right manner. We're still yet to see more out of them, but from what we are looking at right now is the players just hovering around the southern base and just trying to get the few loot for themselves. And we've got Freestyle getting into action so early on. They're getting so many kills.
Well, I mean, this is what exactly I said. If you want to rack up a lot of kills, this is the best approach that Freestyle have gone for themselves inside the game. Golden Stars on that receiving end, now they are running for their lives, and this is what exactly they can do. They just don't really have any other way out of this situation, and this is what Golden Star do realize. The damage is already being dealt, and this is pretty much like a mafia chase going on until now. Golden Stars are getting chased down by the lads of Freestyle, and this is quite a sight to watch. I would say this is quite interesting what's going on in front of us. Golden Stars, now they're trying their best to try and deal as much as damage as possible, but I feel like over here, Oxy is just wasting a lot of bullets, and this is what he exactly did. He wasted all of his bullets on that UMP and decided to kind of switch over to the Mosin now, but hey, you can't really try and do damage with that Mosin, especially in a car chase. It's pretty hard to line a shot up, but he's trying his best though. He's trying his best to kind of find himself any kind of knocks, but up till now he hasn't really been able to do so.
All right, I mean that would have been really great had he just gotten a running vehicle car 98 head, right? But that did not happen. It's fine. But that being said, they've lost out on Louis and AB again. So Golden Stars, they did get the chicken dinner in Sanhok for sure. But again, off to a really rough start. But well, this is a cat and mouse chase going on, and pretty much clearly, this buggy does not have the right speed to go up against the UIs of Golden Stars.
Exactly. Well, I would also like to point out that I think so he's just like, he's not even utilizing the boost. He's just kind of taking things a little bit calm here. He does realize that maybe just letting Golden Stars slip away for now, it would be decent, because there's one more team right next to them. Take a look at that. Golden Stars just passed by one more team right next to them, but Max D is going to be the one they actually passed by. But Hooker is right there in the front lines, who's actually waiting for them. Oh,
okay.
No. Well, they decided to run into each other, but unfortunately, they're not really going to be clashing. Yep, this is just the battle of vehicles.
I mean, I really am not getting the clear picture as to what is Golden Stars intending. All right, finally, I do get it. They want to go in for a dip, making sure that this bloody vehicle does not get picked up by anyone else, not even by them. They decided to just drown it, and quite interesting sort of rotation.
They have a party.
Yeah, we are witnessing the players of BYP coming in, and even the players of F2D are just on the shoreline. So everyone sort of coming down south. We've got a few of the teams, 4Gen. They've been pretty silent throughout the entire day. We haven't really, gotten the opportunity to talk about them a lot.
Exactly. F2D was quiet in close lines, but still they are trying to find themselves an entry inside. This is where a late entry inside the military base can be really harmful for your team, and you don't really want those kind of moments to actually go past through them. Bilal, on the other hand, trying his best to scout the areas out. He does realize Freestyle is right in the front lines. Sunny is going to be the man who is right in the front. Bilal still scouting the area out. He doesn't really know what to exactly do here. All he knows here is Freestyle is in the front lines, but he doesn't have his teammates back up to actually fight, because take a look at their loot, right? I mean, Bilal, at this point in time, he doesn't even have a helmet. Imagine one bullet right on his skull, and he will be shut down.
Indeed. I mean, right now, all these teams need to understand that they have to get some basic loot on them. Look at Black. Finally, Sunny is gone in for the push, and Bilal is waiting right for him. And well, just those level 1 helmet and vest. I really do not like his chances in this particular fight. But Tyrant apparently is gonna, pepper down a few bullets. But Sunny is taking some big, massive amount of damage, and he needs to heal himself up really fast. But Quraysh Esports, well, all 4 of their players still alive. It's just Bilal that needs to patch himself up.
That's what he's doing, pretty much. But now NFB Sky as well, making that late rotation, I would say. Apex is right there waiting for them. I don't really know what NFB Sky can do in the position they have found themselves. Maybe try and rotate all the way back for another one. But yeah, the bridge lines is completely clear. They can actually try and go for the bridge lines. But look at that. Now, Freestyle over here, there's a massive chance that they might just be sandwiched between 2 teams. Over here, you do have QE in the front lines, which are trying their best to keep Freestyle on their knees, especially one more team racking up from the back lines. I mean, Freestyle are up for a lot of trouble, and this is what exactly has happened. Look at Tyrant. Tyrant's being shot out. I don't really know how Tyrant is going to be making it out of this situation. Also, at the same time, Sunny being shut down as well. And this is just so unfortunate for Freestyle. Things were really looking great. Stars were looking aligned for them in the start, and now everything's just crumbling down.
Yeah, of course. I mean, they had to mess it, didn't they? Now, well, I really do not know if, you've got to blame them for that, considering how Team Max just came in from the back lines and took down Respect. But taking a look at F2D, now we did witness, BYP and F2D, both of them sort of resorting for the waterways coming in, and now they're taking the brunt of the zone. Now Kashan, with that beautiful grenade, does manage to get that 1 kill, rather a knock, but ZARAR still, on the other side, on the main island, they have 52 rage to deal up against.
One man has already been taken down. Mursa is going to be the man on the receiving end. And look at that. Cairo making that rotation out in the open. Still not scared of anyone. But Rage Zen from the backline strikes in. Instantly trades out. A little peek, and that's going to be it for him. No more peeking games, he says. And Zen, though, trying his best to fight back. That was a fantastic nade, but not really able to deal a lot of damage with that one. On the other hand, Too Easy 4 as well, trying to join in. But, well, they just get completely kind of thrown away from that side. They're like, all right, we're not really going to be closing in on you lads anymore. We were quite scared at this point in time. Tifa is the only man there, and his buggy tires are also getting shut down. And, well, I don't really know what can I do, especially if I was in the shoes of Too Easy 4. Maybe stopping at that kind of an angle wasn't really the choice.
I don't think so. I mean, right now, Mustafa is in a whole world of... I think it's Tifa, rather. He's in a whole world of trouble, right? Because once the smoke sort of dissipates, he's basically a corner. Now Zed is fast going to be exchanging a few bullets, and now the best ZARAR has spotted him out and will make no mistakes in taking him down. But Tifa, barely alive. But this sort of gives the time and space for the players of 52 Rage to sort of, focus on the objective in hand, that is to get inside the circle, something which they are really not going for.
Exactly. This is definitely not what they're really going for here. So Too Easy 4 looking quite great. Fix pretty much getting himself, or patching himself back up, I would like to say. Fix, though, finds himself an opening onto the last of ZARAR. 2 men have already been taken down. Too Easy 4 finally getting the backup they needed. Zayd is going to be thanking his teammates after that one because he desperately needed that one. But the main problem here is not just this fight. The main problem is how are they going to make it inside the circle? Yeah, the bridge lines do seem pretty clear, but do they have the means of transport?
I mean, yeah, that has to be one of those major issues, right? And they had to sort of deal with it right from the very start. Now it's going to be a little too late, maybe. But now, Team Too Easy 4, like we did talk about it, do have that roadster bike, and they're going to be using that. And this is one of those bikes that I've been kind of really liking. Very lightweight, very handy. But now we've got to fight Team Solo going up against Esports.
Exactly. And the Solo, well, Bot already being shut down. The man who was kind of tanking in the last map, now this time is going to be the one to actually get shut down pretty easily. Venom as well. Kill being confirmed. A lot of kills are being collected from the side of North Esports. And finally, it seems like they're back in action, baby. North Esports seems pretty well up till now. They're looking quite good. They're feeling themselves. On the back lines, though, QE as well, challenging a fight against lads of 138. Let's see how things are going to be looking like for them. But, hey, 138 for Han, it seems like he got knocked out to fall damage.
Yeah, I think he just decided to, step up from his vehicle pretty early. But right now, we've got Quraysh going up against 138. Trona is going to be the one he's going to deal with and does get that intense knock over there. Will get enough time to go in for the revives on towards his teammate Bilal, as Shamir is going to try and close in. And I think Trona is going to give all that crucial information. But at the same time, you've got North Esports right on your tail. We've got likes of Team Max just in the far off fray. But Dubai will, of course, manage to dodge that one really interesting grenade being thrown by Shamir.
So did mention a really interesting nade being thrown from their side. So Dubai will be pretty much down low for now. One more lad is in the clotheslines. He's still knocked out. They're trying to get the rest back onto him, though. But on the other hand, we do also see a little fight breaking down. But QE, though, inside this fight against 138, they're looking quite great, I would say. Farhan initially getting knocked out because of that fall damage. That's why he wasn't really here inside the fray. I feel like if he was here, maybe there could have been a little bit much more, I would say, a helping hand for the side of 138. But unfortunately, he wasn't really present in that initial fight. Take a look at the circle shift as well. Pretty much out in the open. The compound next to the airdrop is there, but ZARAR might just be the one to actually get that.
Well, I mean, to be honest, this is exactly what we did anticipate right from the early start, right? Taking a look at the circle, quite an even shift. This is something that teams would have really anticipated. I really like that, area that 4Gen and Apex have. You've got those little bit of altitude in those hills that we have, but now they have to get inside the circle. Now, considering one of those compounds have been taken by the players of Apex, I think the remainder of his teammates would not have any problem in getting over there.
God.
But, well, I just spoke really soon, X-Men. How do you think? Is this lad going to get out from that situation?
I don't think so. There's no way out unless you find yourself a Ridge that is on the right lines. But still, the lads of 4Gen are waiting over there as well. So if I'm in his shoes, I would try to spend as much time as possible inside the waters, and then maybe, slowly and steadily keep my way working around the edges. And then once I find a clear land to land on, then that's what I would actually do. On the other hand, Max D, again, the fight between these lads continue, but another fight happening in front of our eyes. It's going to be NFP Sky, which is Team Sky. They stepped themselves up, and this time the BYP are going to be the one to actually get shut down. In 12th position, big team faltering down. 138 still barely hanging on the ridge with only one player alive. Sky as well, 2 players were knocked out. The guy who was knocked out, he is finally back on his feet. But now, things are looking quite great for the side of 4Gen, Max D, NES, which is North Esports, and then QE.
Well, it's going to be so very interesting. Now, considering Quraysh, we've seen some good plays by these lads, but now they're up against Apex now. Now, that is one of those nades you need to understand for a fact that you need to break those classes. It's going to affect the trajectory. But either ways, Orochi being knocked out, Adi still alive. And now, Dubai, we're still waiting for that push, and he should not be that one man going up for it, because if he does so, Tosif does have that tactical advantage. Now, this is where, Quraysh are going to be turning the tides in their favor. The numbers advantage coming really handy, but Tosif still somehow managing to get that one knock, will again reposition and get back into the fight.
Exactly. He will definitely get back in the fight. Tosi barely hiding behind, but oh no, he wasn't really able to make it back in the cover in the nick of time. He got shut down instantly. Mani there as well. Finally, the rest has been stuck on Bilal. So Bilal should be back on his feet though, but don't really know how things are going to be looking like for his other teammate though, because he is still being knocked out. And Adi, I don't really feel like there is any way out of that situation, because well, they're just doing a great job keeping them on their knees. On the other hand, Freestyle Tyrant, of course, the last man alive. Ash doesn't know what's going on here. Tyrant just welcomes him in that coop. And on the other hand, Tyrant doing a great job surrounding the lands of Sky. And I do like how he's repositioning himself each and every single time. The experience kicking in. He knows when to peek. He knows when to pretty much hold his horses down. And this is what Tyrant really excels in. single-handedly takes down 2 players of a squad like Team Sky. Well, this is a massive statement being made from his side as well, but Tyrant, oh no, he's taking a lot of damage from the zone. He's able to make himself back on full HP, but Halsey, if he manages to connect any shots on the Tyrant, this can be it for him, and yes, it is.
Yeah, but still, I mean, I did not really give his kill away. He rather went to the zone. And again, I mean, one of those individualistic plays. Genius coming out from Tyrant, the way he played that one out. And Halsey has to do all that labor yet again for his team. Now, Team North going up against Team Max. Both these teams have to make their way inside the zone. It's going to be really interesting considering looking at Costa and Snow. They're way too much in the open. And any single moment, they might just get spotted. Now, talking about the zone shift, well, they certainly are inside the zone right now. The teammates, but Daku and Zameen, they've made their way in. They've got the players of 52 Rage right beside them. That being said, Team Apex has also been taken off from the game. Now, Cairo does manage to find out the players of Team Max and have eventually taken them down.
Exactly, as you did mention, eventually taking them down. Akar, though, is quite safe for now, but not anymore, as I did mention now. It wasn't going to be safe for a while there, but yeah, instantly got taken out the game. Cairo still knocked out. That means 52 Rage do have a little thing to worry about. So the rest being stuck on, I'm expecting him to actually get back on his feet. So the Molotov a little bit misplaced, wasn't really able to make it on the mark. So of course, the lads of North Esports are going to be a little disappointed in themselves. 15 players alive in total, 7 teams. And take a look at the circle shift, completely out in the open. There's no compound here. That means third parties are about to happen.
It's sort of a silence before, you know, the hell breaks loose over here. Because 52 Rage, Necro, we've seen them pulling off some really good plays today. Now, this is the game where North Esports really needs to flourish. This is where they need to get the former glory. And this is a good way to start things off. Zameen, as he gets that knock onto its Cairo, it has all come down onto its Zen to hold this fortress off, the little bit of shack that they have. But look at those grenades coming in, those Molotovs being dispersed at him. But still somehow managed to knock down Post. And Snow will be the one finishing him off.
Oh my
but eventually gets TK'd.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Well, imposter again. A lot of imposter moments there, but yeah, I'm pretty sure they're not intended. But on the other hand, now again, North Esports, as I did mention, one lad has been taken down, and this is where QE are doing a great job capitalizing on that situation. Ghost, of course, being knocked out. Snow was down low, but finally gets himself back up on a lot of HP. Zameen as well, still alive from the back lines. NES are going to be the one to actually be in the receiving end because they don't really have the man advantage going forward. Ghosta, yeah, he's still knocked out. If they're only able to get him back up, then the man advantage will be equalized. But it seems like QE, they don't have any intentions of letting him live. And yes, this is what they exactly do. They confirm the kill. And North Esports, they're breaking a sweat.
Well, they indeed are. Right now, taking a look at QE, they've got a really good spot. You know, having that high ground advantage, they certainly can seize the chicken dinner right from the mouths of North. Now, Snow in really close contention to Dubai, but he's eventually decided to kind of back off and crush. Money. What a shot.
Exactly. That was a quick shot as well, I would like to say. But yeah, now again, QE, Quraysh are going to be the lads actually looking pretty decent, I would say, inside the circle as well. And take a look at how much circle has been covered by these lads. Take a look at how much amount of control they have over the circle. And it just really matters, right? Because imagine they do have the control at the same time. They also do have the visual control. Appearance control and visual control really does matter in those late game circles. And this is what they're really doing up till now. Savage being shut down again. And Quraysh are just doing a great job. Pretty much keep the lads of 4chan down again. One last man is alive. It's going to be Sharper. And let's see what he's able to. It's going to be Sharper. Let's see what he's going to be able to kind of pull off inside this 1-on-3 situation. Because QE, it doesn't really seem like they are going to be. They are pretty merciless up till now. They're not going to let them go that easily.
I mean, take a look at Healthy. He's still, surviving, right? The lonesome player. And the same sort of goes for Rahi as well. Now, this is where the old guards have finally stepped up. But then again, the kind of domination that we're witnessing from Quraysh, we might just get a chicken dinner from their side. And that is something that I would absolutely love, considering, how I'm a really big fan of the underdogs over here. So a new team coming in and dominating.
Yeah.
We haven't really seen them in the past, for sure. Because, 52 Rage, I've seen a few of their players in different, playing under different banners. But this is a completely new one. Mani, spotting out Shapar. Wiping out fourth generation. I really love the way he's, getting those picks, right? Where you would usually not anticipate him to be doing that. But yeah, he's got some eagle eyes.
Exactly. Definitely has some dead eyes, I would like to say. Definitely has some eagle eyes. But now, 4Gen being taken out the game, and we're left with 4 teams in the game. 7 players alive in total. And still, QE looking quite dominant, gotta say that. Now, North Esports, as I did mention, they were down low, only 2 lads alive, and still Zameen is alive. That means anything can happen. He might just flip the tables in his favor, but if he does get unlucky and gets caught off guard in the open grounds, or if he at least gets spotted as well, he might just be taken out as well. So this nade can be, I would say, revealing of his own position, but at least up till now, his position hasn't been revealed, so he's looking quite great. Zameen did hear Halsey kind of crawl around. That's why he's lobbing in some Molotovs and some nades, but no connection, no critical connection being found up till now. So North Esports are looking decent, I would say, on the other hand. But yeah, this is pretty much 3 teams alive, a stare-down competition going on up till now. And this is what really happens, right? They are getting ready. They are pretty much just, trying to figure out where the teams are hiding. And once they do, they're going to be striking in hard.
They indeed are. But, you've got to give props to Healthy for making it alive for so long. I mean, his teammates were long gone, and he did have to pull that, pull this all by himself. Now, considering the fact that he has to actually wait for North Esports and Quraysh going up against each other to maybe have a chance of getting that second spot, right? Considering his position has been compromised, I really want to see if he gets spotted down by RDE. But Mani, he has definitely been one of those players to talk about, the precision on his aim, and Dubai has been pretty phenomenal as well, in terms of how they've been getting those kills. Now Zameen kind of staying under the bushes over there. Now Snow, well, it all comes down to this face-off between him and Dubai. If they sort of manage to get a knock on either of each other, that sort of will decide the course of who rather gets the chicken dinner.
Yeah, but still, take a look at the circle, right? I mean, as I did mention, QE just has so much amount of cover for themselves, right? There's still a lot much more circle left behind them. So it's like they have created a line with their own sights and with their players. And they're like, all right, we're not going to let anyone pass through us. And if you dare to do that, we're pretty much going to be taking you out. So QE, I feel like inside this entire situation, they definitely do have a lot of advantage. So the circle definitely shifted away from QE. But it's going to be no problem for them to actually make it inside, though. But still, the fight breaks down between the lads of North. One lad has been taken down. And still, one more man is hanging on. It's going to be Zameen. But nades are being locked in right in his direction. Zameen, he does know. He does know things are looking quite critical for his side as well. Yep, that was a perfect knockout being found. Dubai being taken out. Halsey is still alive. He's like, Halsey's like, all right, you guys can fight out as much as you want. I'm going to be striking in the end moment.
Indeed, now just dropping that body smoke. I did not see that part smoke being formed over there. And now Zameen can really capitalize on that situation if he really wants to, but still giving up his position away. This sort of open things up. Now Zameen, he does know that it's going to be really difficult to take that 1v2 situation. But Adi, right through the smoke, takes him down. Now Sky Halsey just being in a 1v3 situation, but if he can lob that one grenade out, can do some massive amount of damage.
Definitely can do a massive amount of damage, but yeah, this also makes me think that does he have any utilities left this late in the game? I'm expecting, yeah, maybe, but still, it's like the chances are looking quite slim for that. Yep, it doesn't really seem like he has any utilities left until now. That's why Halsey isn't really opting out for utilizing them. But Mani, though, take a look at how he's separated out from the rest of the lads, and one lad is there to kind of distract and make sure, at least try and spot at Halsey's position. Yes, it has been, and instantly gets taken out as well. That MK14 in the close range, I would say, that auto is just so damaging. It's just so devastating.
what a chicken dinner coming in from Quraysh, right? 13 kills to make their mark and have gotten the third spot secured for themselves just from that one game. And you've got to give it to them. They've been so proactive right from the very start. Not opting in for an early rotation, getting kills one after the other. You remember that fight that sort of started off with, Freestyle, where Freestyle just kind of got third party by a different team altogether. And after that, they sort of maintained their domination. So what really came down handy for them has to be the rotation and has to be how clinical their players were in terms of spotting down their opponents and taking them. I mean, really did see some good precision coming out, even taking kills right through the smoke.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, the precision was definitely there, especially as you did mention, man, like Mani was doing just so much damage throughout the map. And I feel like the main reason why they actually won that entire endgame situation was because they just had a lot of zone control. Let's be honest, they had a little bit too much zone control and they knew it themselves, right? They were like, all right, even if the zone takes a hard shift away from them, we just have so much control that it's not really going to be that tough for us to actually make it inside the zone. And this is what exactly they did. All they did was just started moving a little bit to the left side. They also had the airdrop right next to them, which did provide them that cover, and they retrieved that MK14 through that as well. So hey, I mean, it's a freebie,
Yeah, indeed. And even you've got to say that they were really clever, understanding the fact that once the smoke has been deployed, just you do understand that there must be someone behind it. So just going in for the spray, had to connect, had to get that kill. But again, Team Sky, despite having a really rough start where the teammates sort of got taken down pretty early on. If you remember, Katir was one of those players picked off right from the early start where Freestyle was sort of rotating around. And Team Sky did not have a lot of, options over there. Despite that fact, getting a top 2 finish, I think I really loved it. But more than that, like you said, 100% agree that this sort of zone control that these players had for themselves really helped them in getting this chicken dinner. But right now, let's take a look and see who the MVP is. I think it's going to be Money with the way he's been taking all those kills. I think that certainly should have been the person out there who is about to be displayed in front of our screens. And
yes, it was.
6 kills, 853 damage. This I saw coming from miles away.
Yeah, I mean, he was definitely racking up a lot of kills, right? As you did mention, he had some eagle eyes going in forward as well. He was just spotting out some snakes, slithering in the grasses, and instantly spotting them out, taking out the game, confirming the kills as well for himself. The survival time as well was quite good, I would say. 26:52. On the other hand, Dubai as well, same thing went for him. Unfortunately, in the end, he got knocked out, but hey, it's fine. He got back up on his feet. And I also did like the strategy being utilized, right? The rest 2 lads were completely prone out, and they do know Halsey's the last man alive from Team Sky. So they're like, all right, only one lad is alive, so we 2 are going to be staying prone. One guy was behind the airdrop, and then the other guy was completely out in the open. And the other guy just started running out in the open. He did know Halsey needs to pop out and shoot. If he doesn't, he's going to be closing in the distance and pretty much seal the deal on Halsey. So Halsey had no other choice. He was being forced at that moment to shoot. And that's what he did. Yeah,
of course, he had no choice, and he knew he had done the major task, right, to get his team a top 3 position, and he secured the second. So I think his teammates are going to be pretty happy about that. But this is where you have to bring 4Gen also into the conversation, right? Considering a very late rotation, they still had a really good position inside the zone, and I think this was a good game from by the standards. The way they had come in to play their first 3 games, not really going how they anticipated.
And I would like to also point out one kind of weird thing I noticed, right? So over here, the funny part here was that left side bridge near Fair Pier wasn't really being camped by any team. On the other hand, though, the Milta side bridge was the one actually being camped. Heavily. Yeah, there were like 3 teams right there, and there was no way out from that side. So this is kind of like a weird thing kind of stuck out in my brain throughout the game, because the left side bridge is usually the one to actually heavily get contested by teams, but this time none of them actually opted out to camp there. Match rankings in front of you lads, and BYP, as I did mention, got eliminated quite early. Big teams like Golden Stars and Solo, I mean, we're really showing. Yeah, the leaders this time completely faltering down. That means they did not really end the day on a good note. That means they're not really going to be having no silent sleeps tonight.
No, I still think, considering how good they were throughout the overall day, this one little slip up can be sort of mitigated tomorrow. But right now, let's take a look at the Oppo F19 moment. And, all right, so what we are really looking at is teams being really inconsistent, right? They're getting a chicken dinner in one, then they're completely crapping their pants in the next game. So I think there have been few teams that have sort of not gotten the chicken dinner, still have been really consistent, and one of them has to be Team Sky, the way they've been playing, right? And this is where Quraysh, they were absolutely dominating every single time, every single fight that they took. But this little one play from Tyrant, I absolutely loved it.
Yeah, this was game-changing for sure. Like, this completely flipped the tables against NFP. Imagine if all three players were alive in this moment. I'm pretty sure NFP would have been the one to actually seal the deal on the map of Erangel and pretty much end the day on a good note. But yeah, in the end, Ghost as well got taken down. This position was well held by Rage, but hey, just wasn't really able to hold it down for long. Now, this also makes me wonder, what if BFM were inside this game? What could have they been doing? Because they have quite an impactful day throughout.
I mean, well, Team BFM, they were really very strong in Sanhok, the way they were playing, 16 kills. But this is it, you know. Still, I would say that Team Solo have managed to maintain that first spot that they have. They've been so consistent throughout the day. And Team Sky, look at them. Now, this is something that I really like from a team. You know, you don't get a chicken dinner, but in terms of position points, you're always there. You sort of have cracked the code. Now, Golden Stars, 2 chicken dinners and 2 really bad performances, sort of nullifying both of them out, but still in contention. Now, of course, you have to be in that top 14 to qualify for the finals. Now, we have seen groups A and B. Tomorrow we're gonna see group C and D, and I would love to see what they have to offer. But from what we've seen today, Max and Freestyle, well, I really had big expectations from them, and they could not really live up to it. Maybe today was just not their day. But you know, we would of course want to take a look at the kill leaders for the evening and find for ourselves who were those individual players. And well, Money has been topping the chart so far.
Of course, I mean, he definitely has been topping the charts so far. Halsey not really far behind with 11 kills for himself. Leader was there, but BFM unfortunately didn't really play the last game. I would say if he played the last game, Leader has to be the one actually on top, because the way he has been performing consistently throughout the day, without a doubt, it has been looking pretty great. But yeah, as you did mention, tomorrow Group C and D are going to be the one to chime in. So I would say not really a lot of known teams in that group. I would say, yeah, TUF is quite the one. We have seen the Grounders as well in the past, but yeah, that's going to be it. I feel like these two are the only team. Maybe Team Frost as well. We have seen them once or twice in the past, but yeah, not really a lot of known names.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a start, right?
Yeah.
But I kind of really like the efforts being given by the players. You know, a lot of new teams stepping up. You talk about Team Solo, you talk about Team Quraysh. Then one of those, you know, names that we have seen in the NC coming in and popping off had to be Team Sky, the way they've been playing, right? They have been really, really consistent. But that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we are finally done with all our matches for the evening, and we're going to be calling it a night. We're going to be seeing it tomorrow with a different group coming into action. Till then, you guys take care and have a good night.
Here we go now. 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 Go now. Here we go now.